Chapter 835. Fong Ping, I'm giving you one last chance. In the air, Ji Yao shouted coldly again. She floated tens of meters in the air and sent a voice transmission to Jin and Uncle Wang. When Fong Ping appears, lure the Heavenly Plants clan here immediately and kill them. Yao, are you sure? Uncle Wang, there are no true kings in the 7 southern regions today. Ji Yao's expression was cold, saying hurriedly, capturing Fong Ping and bringing him back to Destiny Royal Court is the best for us. But if the Heavenly Plants clan finds out, will they ignore it? Everyone knows how important Fong Ping is, so the Heavenly Plants clan will not give us this chance. If we capture Fong Ping and leave, will he be willing to cooperate? If they wanted to bring Fong Ping away, Fong Ping had to cooperate himself. This guy could disguise his aura and follow them. If he did not disguise himself, once he left Mount Imperial Sea, he's afraid of death. If he doesn't want to die, he can only cooperate with us. Jinan took a deep breath and said quickly, okay. Capturing Fong Ping alive is indeed very beneficial, but Yao, Fong Ping is not that easy to deal with. You must be careful. Yao understands. Boom. At this moment, an earth-shattering sound came from underground. At this moment, the entire 7 southern regions heard the sound. Fong Ping directly used the 10,000 indestructible substance and blew up the mineral vein, 100 million points of indestructible substance. That was lost just like that. 5 weak rank 9s were not strong. Fong Ping, an old man, Li could handle them alone and slowly wear them down. But this time, there was no time. Fong Ping still had to be careful of being fooled by Ji Yao. He dared not be careless. It was best to get out of the encirclement first, then talk about cooperation. Boom. Intense explosions rang out one after another, wave after wave. The entire royal city disappeared on the spot in an instant. Fong Ping never appeared. In the air, Powerhouse's golden bodies flickered, unleashing their most powerful defense to resist the power of the mineral vein's explosion. Below, the 5 weak rank 9 powerhouses did not dare to separate, staying together. At this moment, all 5 of them were heavily injured, and in the blink of an eye, a sword ray pierced through the air. A saber ray also pierced through the air at the same time. Fong Ping took the opportunity to self-detonate his mentality again. Kill! Both of them roared fiercely. As they brandished their sabers and swords, they charged toward the 5. Boom! The next moment, another explosion was heard. A rank 9 powerhouse could not take it anymore. Watching the sword gleam slashing toward him, he self-detonated directly. Even if they died, none of them would have an easy time. Puff! Fong Ping's speed was fast, and he was close. He was affected in an instant. His golden body cracked from the explosion, fresh blood spurting out wildly. However, the remaining 4 people around him were even worse off. They were already severely injured by the mine's explosion and were affected by Fong Ping's mentality self-detonation. At this moment, their companions self-detonated right beside them. The few of them had their golden bodies destroyed instantly. Under the heavy damage to their mentality, they screamed incessantly, "No! Kill! Kill Fong Ping!" Amidst the earth-shattering explosion, the rank 9s in the periphery also rapidly stepped on the void, ignoring the aftermath of the explosion. Fong Ping appeared. So what if he killed those 5 people? There were many experts present. They were blocking the perimeter, and the distance was not close. Coupled with the impact of the explosion, they did not arrive in time. At this time, Old Man Li's body flashed with golden light. He roared a few times and slashed a few more times. At this time, Fong Ping collided head-on with a heavily injured rank 9. Fong Ping did not use his saber again. With a fierce roar, his body expanded by 30%. The golden meridians on both his arms protruded. He grabbed the person and roared, "Break!" A fierce roar echoed in all directions. Rumble! A loud explosion sounded. Fong Ping tore this rank, 9 powerhouse apart alive. Golden body 7th refinement. Vitality as high as 120,000 calories. Imperishable substance outburst. This was golden body 7th refinement. In midair, Ji Yao's expression changed instantly. Asking a tiger for its skin. There was not a moment when she was more clear-headed than now. It was really asking a tiger for its skin. This fellow improved so fast that it made her despair. He tore a rank, 9 apart alive. Unbelievable. Fong Ping tore a rank, 9 apart. At this time, Old Man Li also killed a rank 9 instantly. In the blink of an eye, 3 out of 5 weak rank 9s were killed. The remaining 2 had their golden bodies exploded. Right now, their faces were filled with despair and unwillingness. One of them suddenly laughed bitterly. In the end, it's all for naught. Maybe I shouldn't have been born in this divine land, a man-eating world. Ha ha ha. A rank 9 powerhouse. Humans called them high grandmasters, but the catacombs called them divine generals. Even if they died, they felt that it was not worth it. High grandmasters. What was a grandmaster? Everyone revered and respected them. The true king also treated them as equals. They knew why and who they were fighting for, but what about them? Divine generals, and divine generals were just generals under the gods. If they wanted you to die, you had to die. Fong Ping insulted the true king. He knew that he could not divide his forces, but he still wanted to. He had no choice. Now, the true king's descendants sent them to their deaths. He wanted to use them as bait. What else could they do? If there's a next life, don't let me be born in this world. I'll make a move first. In this life, he had cultivated hard for hundreds of years. True kings appeared frequently. Sooner or later, there would be major changes. All of you die. 5 powerhouses, 3 of them self-destructed. Fong Ping and Old Man Li were helpless too. At this moment, their golden bodies were dim, and they were heavily injured. However, killing 5 rank 9s in less than 5 seconds was also beyond imagination. Fong Ping and Old Man Li did not say a word. In an instant, they broke out of the encirclement. Below, the big explosion was still going on. Rumble! Waves of explosions resounded through the sky. An energy tide emitted a glaring light, illuminating the entire 7 southern territory. After Tian'an catacombs, another catacombs royal city was blown up. Meanwhile, the rank 9 powerhouses from all directions did not care so much anymore. One by one, they surrounded Fong Ping and the rest. At this moment, Jinan, who was in the air, landed with the divine generals beside her, chasing after Fong Ping and the rest. When everyone surrounded them from all directions, the god generals of the heavenly plant's lineage were all stunned. Beside them, the Destiny Royal Court's divine generals suddenly stopped attacking Fong Ping and the rest. Instead, they ambushed them. Jinan! An elemental Tao powerhouse roared in disbelief. The 7 Southern Territory War was a war initiated by many true kings. Yet, Jinan actually attacked him. Was he crazy? Wasn't he afraid of being discovered by a true king? Even the Ji family could not protect him? Go to hell! Jinan growled coldly. The divine weapon in his hand emitted a dazzling golden glow. With a sudden sneak attack, he smashed the other party's head. The other party's mentality condensed instantly. He turned into a human form and fled. Forbidden break. At this moment, Jinan growled. The divine weapon in his hand suddenly turned into a giant golden-armored monster. As soon as the golden armored monster appeared, its speed broke through space and swallowed the other party's mentality materialization. It did not destroy it, but imprisoned it. In the next moment, G-Nan's mentality suddenly erupted. The golden armored monster's body shook, and a scream came from within. In the blink of an eye, an elemental Tao powerhouse was killed on the spot. G-Nan did not delay. He growled, "Protect Yao, the rest, follow me and kill." Leaving behind 2 rank 9s to protect Ji Yao, Ji-Nan led more than 10 god generals and quickly joined the other battlefields. At this moment, Ji-Nan's strength was on full display. The god generals on the god generals' ranking were this powerful. Destiny Royal Court had more people than Sky Plant's Royal Court. With a sudden sneak attack, more than 10 rank 9s from Sky Plant's Royal Court were suddenly killed at the beginning of the battle. Under the joint attack of these people, the remaining people were gradually defeated. The sound of self-destruction was heard again. "Ji family, you will all die a horrible death." The next moment, a diamond-shaped crystal appeared in Ji Yao's hand. Fang Ping frowned slightly. Was the Life King crazy too? Did he really give Ji Yao another avatar? These true kings had been cutting their avatars as if they did not care about their lives recently. What were they doing? Fang Ping did not go any closer. He stopped less than 20 meters away from her. At this moment, the 2 rank 9 powerhouses beside Ji Yao were also glaring at him with vigilance. Ji Yao looked at Fang Ping, then at the 2 rank 9 powerhouses, saying, "Watch him." The 2 rank 9 powerhouses did not say a word, approaching Fang Ping slowly. Fang Ping chuckled and said, "Don't worry, I said I surrender, so I will definitely surrender. Rumble." It was not Fang Ping who attacked. Below, there was another self-destruction. In a short moment, the battle came to an end. Out of the 53 rank 9 powerhouses earlier, Fang Ping and Old Man Li killed 5 in the blink of an eye. The remaining 48 people, Destiny Royal Court seemed to have 30 people, Sky Plant's Royal Court, 18 people. And now, out of the 53 rank 9s, only 27 were left. On Destiny Royal Court's side, there were also some casualties. After this battle, in an instant, a total of 26 rank 9s had fallen. At this moment, the remaining 27 rank 9s were glaring at Fang Ping. As for Li Changsheng, who had escaped, no one cared about him. Today, they charged into the Outland, just for Fang Ping. And now, Fang Ping was already captured. In this battle, even if they suffered heavy losses, they still won. Fang Ping was too lazy to say anything. Although he was being stared at by 27 rank 9s, he was still smiling. There were many powerhouses. If they attacked together, it would not be difficult to defeat him. But now, he was clenching his fists tightly. The others might not know what it was, but Ji Yao definitely knew. Fang Ping faced old Zhang's avatar at her. He could not block those rank 9s, and Ji Yao could too. When Ji Yao moved towards the rank 9 powerhouses, Fang Ping moved too. He just stayed close to her, unwilling to leave. If he was far away, that would give Ji Yao time to react, and the threat would be much smaller. Yao. Now. Ji-Nan swept a cold glance at Fang Ping. This guy, he was finally captured. But Fang Ping being so free, he was not happy. He had to at least imprison the other party. He was a little worried. Fang Ping surrendered too easily. This was not a good thing. Although under the watch of 27 powerhouses, this guy could not do anything, but it would be best if they could cripple Fang Ping, just like how Fang Ping crippled the Phoenix monster beast previously. It could make him enter the period of nirvana. As he said that, Ji-Nan said quickly, "Fang Ping, hand over your rank 9 divine weapon and the storage ring. Don't force us to attack you, especially the rank 9 combat boots." If he did not hand over this thing, then he had to be careful of Fong Ping's escape. Without the rank 9 combat boots, although Fong Ping's speed was fast, he would definitely not be able to catch up to him. There was no way he could escape. Fong Ping chuckled. Divine General Ji, Nan, we are working together. Don't forget, working together. You want to capture me alive. That means you have a purpose. If that's the case, then be more polite. I'm a powerhouse comparable to a rank 9. If you really push me too far and want to capture me alive, dream on. If you want to kill me, then the previous battle would have been fought for nothing, killing so many powerhouses for nothing. You won't be willing to do such a stupid thing, will you? Let's talk things out. We don't have a deep grudge against the Destiny Royal Court. There's no need to fight to the death when we meet, right? I promise I won't run. I swear on the names of King Marshall and King Marshall. If I run, their mentality will collapse, okay? Fong Ping's expression was solemn. This was a deadly oath. A super deadly oath. I've already sworn on the names of my 2 closest paragons. You must believe me. Ji Nan's brows were furrowed deeply, swearing on the true kings at every turn. Was this a little too frivolous? If you asked him to swear on the Life King and Ji Hong, he would not do it on his own. Although the oath was not too restrictive, if this matter were to spread to the true kings, those who had tarnished their dignity and reputation should all be killed. Ji Yao's brows were also furrowed deeply. At this moment, she suddenly remembered something. King Marshall, the shame of the true kings. This was what the Life King said. Not a single word of the Marshall King's words could be trusted. Ji Yao took a deep breath, suppressed the irritation in her heart, and said coldly, "Watch him. Fong Ping, if you don't want to die, change your aura now and pretend to be one of us." Fong Ping said helplessly, "Do you really think I can change at will? It requires a lot of resources. I've used up all my previous savings. Give me some life essence, about 500 caddies. That's about 50 boxes of yours. It's true. If I'm lying to you, I'll explode my golden body right now." Fong Ping's expression was solemn. He said sternly, "If not, I wouldn't go around robbing resources just for this. Changing aura consumes a lot of resources. 500 caddies can only last for half a day." Ji Yao's expression was cold. "Then how many days did you hide in the Heavenly Plant's royal court last time? That was all my savings from the outer realm. I threw it all in." "Humph." Ji Yao snorted coldly. She suddenly wanted to kill someone. Fong Ping ignored her. Believe it or not, it was up to her. This was the truth. He was not too worried that Ji Yao would make things difficult for him. At most, Old Zhang would do it. He did not know if Old Zhang could make it in time. The passageway was also close to 1,000 miles away. Could Old Zhang make it in time? Did he know the situation here? He did not know that Zhang Tao had blasted a 1,000-mile passageway with one punch. If he knew, he probably would not be so worried. Old Zhang's clone was here. He would know immediately once it was used. 1,000 miles could be covered in the blink of an eye. Ji Yao also ignored him. It was impossible for her to give him materials. If this guy was not willing to change, then let him be. Battles were still going on in other places anyway. Let's go over there. Ji Yao pointed in the direction of Hope City. Up until now, the vitality was still soaring. She wondered what the outcome was now. As she said that, Fong Ping's gaze moved slightly. Humans had reinforcements coming again. Old Zhang was good. He actually mobilized reinforcements again. Thinking of what Zhang Weiyu said earlier, the 5 big sacred lands reinforcements had arrived. That was too fast. The 5 big sacred lands were in various continents. They arrived just like that. At this moment, in the direction of Hope City, there was another huge wave of auras rising. It was not just one rank 9, there were at least 7 or 8 of them. There were really more and more rank 9s. This was referring to the human rank 9s. The catacombs, rank 9s were getting fewer and fewer. Fong Ping could not remember exactly how many catacombs rank 9s he had killed. From what he knew, out of the 18 catacombs rank 9s previously, 14 died, and 1 was captured. 3 were killed in 100 Beasts Forest, 5 were killed in 10,000 Ants Desert. He and Old Man Li ambushed and killed 1. When they were being chased, they killed another 1. The number of deaths just now was the highest. 26. A total of 50 rank 9s died, and a rank 9 monster beast was captured. That's 51. Including the 27 people here, 78 rank 9s. Fong Ping felt a little emotional in his heart. This battle was beyond his expectations. He really did not expect so many people to die. As for other places, there were still 2 battlefields at this moment. He did not know how the situation was now. There were more than 140 rank 9s in the catacombs. He did not know how many of them could make it out of 7 southern regions alive this time. Just as Fong Ping was thinking about these, Devil City. Everyone had already fought to Devil City. This used to be Skygate City. Later on, Devil City had changed hands a few times. This time, it was completely destroyed. Zhang Weiyu and the other 4 powerhouses joined the battle. They killed until the sky and earth changed color. A mere Devil City had already disappeared under everyone's continuous battles. Wu Chuan, you really can't do it. Zhang Weiyu laughed hysterically. 4 people against 20 people. They killed 1 as soon as they arrived. They fought with 19 powerhouses. Since the beginning of the battle, both sides had suffered casualties. However, the 4 powerhouses were only injured and not dead. On the other hand, many people from the other side had died. With a low grunt, the sword swung away. Rumble! The long sword exploded. The rank 9 divine weapon had reached its limit. It was not self-destruction, but the battle was too intense, and this rank 9 divine weapon exploded directly. Old Chun is so hot-tempered. Zhang Weiyu laughed. Before his laughter died away, he had also charged in instantly. Chun Yaozu was very hot-tempered today. When he fought, he killed like a desperado. Out of the 8 powerhouses killed, he killed 4 alone. This made Zhang Weiyu feel somewhat helpless. I am the number 1 person below the absolute peak. And now this old fellow Chun Yaozu wants to snatch this title. The war started again. 16 powerhouses were fighting each other in an instant. Chun Yaozu grunted continuously. Under the flickering of his golden body, it became dimmer. At this stage of the battle, it was no longer a matter of the imperishable substance. His injuries were too severe. If he could not make any progress on the origin path, he might really die here today. On the ground, Zhang Tao frowned slightly, murmuring, "Chun, Zhang," and the rest seemed to be lacking in strength. Is the pressure not enough? He could vaguely feel it. Today, these people had the highest chance of reaching the absolute peak in one go. If they were stopped today, it might be difficult. Initially, Chun Yaozu was still a distance away from the absolute peak. Today, however, he went on a killing spree. This was because of the momentum of cutting off all means of retreat, disregarding everything. However, as the human reinforcements continued to arrive, these people seemed to be a little dispirited. More than 100 rank 9s. Is the pressure not enough? What is that kid doing this time? It seems like a lot of rank 9s have died in internal strife. Warlord has sealed off the Magic City catacombs. The guys in the catacombs may not know the current situation. I still have to let them in. If that doesn't work, then I'll take the opportunity to break out into the absolute peak battle. Zhang Tao calculated in his heart for a while. Chen Yaozu and the rest. since the rank 9 battle could no longer stimulate them. Then what if the absolute peak battle broke out? This time, on the human side, there were not too many absolute peak powerhouses who came. Once the war started, humans would definitely fall into a disadvantageous position. At least, if he did not go all out, he would definitely fall into a disadvantageous position. In a critical situation, perhaps these people would have the motivation to break out of desperation and participate in the absolute peak battle. The first spurt of energy, the second decline, the third exhaustion. This time, if I can't break through, when the absolute peak battle starts, if I still can't break through, then I'll be exhausted. Others might not say it, but Chun Yaozu would definitely think so. The old man had already reached this stage. If he did not break out into the absolute peak this time, he might not have any hope in this lifetime. Wu Chuan and Wu Quishan were still fine. These two had not reached that stage yet, and they were still young. They could wait a little longer. Zhang Weiyu had a problem too. He was a guy who was about to reach the absolute peak, yet he could not break through after so long. This meant that he had also fallen into a huge bottleneck. Whether or not 2 absolute peak powerhouses can be born today will depend on this. As he was thinking, a big cat's head appeared on the other side of the passage. It said, This cat has stabbed 12 fake gods to death. I want 20 more bags of cat food. Zhang Tao was stunned. This cat, don't be like this. I'm embarrassed to cheat it. No wonder he felt that something was wrong in the West. It seemed that they had killed too many enemies. So this cat had stabbed 12 of them to death? Zhang Tao thought about it, but still quickly said, No problem. Cat, are you interested in stabbing a few true gods to death? How about 100 bags of cat food for each? No way. 200 bags. Is there so much cat food? Old Zhang instantly shut up. He could not raise the price anymore. If he continued, this cat would probably become suspicious. If cat food was not valuable, would the other party still work hard? He shut up. However, the cat said again, After the battle, this cat wants a big dog. You are not allowed to take the big dog away. Big dog. Old Zhang's eyes lit up. He quickly said, Which dog? It's the dog that brought the demons out of the grotto heaven, Jiao. At this moment, old Zhang's eyes were so bright that they could pierce through the passage. What did the cat have to do with Jiao? Big cat, I don't want to cheat you, but this, my heart is itching. Should I bring Jiao to Mount Royal Sea, or should I put King Huai in 7 southern regions? Would this cat stab King Huai to death? As for whether it would work or not, it should not be a big problem. This cat gave him a strong feeling. Even if it was not as strong as Life King and the others, it should not be weaker than King Maple. Should I do it? Zhang Tao was conflicted. He was good at bullying old schemers. He was also very black-hearted. Those old schemers, he would kill one by one. It did not matter if they were from the catacombs or Earth. However, bullying a dumb cat was too stupid. He was embarrassed to do it. He did not have anything on him, yet he had to give it to him. However, it was hard to say whether this cat would do it. It depended on Jiao's position in its heart. If it was just a toy, there was no hope. If Sino Nation wants to produce a few more powerhouses, I have no choice but to do this. Zhang Tao muttered in his heart. My heart is black. My heart is poisonous. Blame the world. P.S. Another book to heal, Tang Dynasty by the history big shot Song Shanyue. The big shot's book should not be able to heal me. Those who like history can read it. Chapter 836, Mount Imperial Sea. King Feng's expression was ugly as he transmitted. Everyone, I'm afraid Warlord has ulterior motives for not letting us investigate the 7 southern regions. Why don't we join forces to defeat their obstruction, and investigate the war situation in the 7 southern regions. Warlord and the other 2 had sealed off the 7 southern regions, which made King Feng uneasy. Unable to use their mental power to investigate, they knew nothing about the situation in the 7 southern regions. Of course, if King Wu entered the regions, they would be able to sense the tremors. Therefore, the only thing they could be sure of was that no true king had entered the regions. However, they had no idea whether the Land of Rebirth had sent reinforcements. On the battlefield, when the commander was deaf and blind, everything was unpredictable. King Huai's expression darkened. What's there to investigate? Since everyone is here today, why don't we take this opportunity to kill 1 or 2 resurrected true kings? King Huai's tone was vicious. These people are getting more and more arrogant. The outer regions are the territory of God Land, but now they have sealed off Mount Imperial Sea, and we can't enter. What a joke. It's fine if they keep a low profile, but now they're so arrogant. How can we sit back and watch? As soon as he said this, King Pingshan, who was at the side, said playfully, "King Huai, are you provoked by that golden-horned beast?" King Pingshan wanted to laugh. King Huai had lost all his face. The golden-horned beast from the bounded domain had come out. Not only had it come out, but it had also led the demon race from the bounded domain to help the resurrected warriors kill the enemy. Many true kings knew what happened to King Huai in the 7 southern regions. That was a complete loss of face. It would have been fine if the golden-horned beast had been killed, or if it never appeared again. But now it had appeared again, ruined the Godland's plans, and appeared in the 7 southern regions in front of King Huai. This was a blatant slap in the face. If the golden-horned beast didn't die, King Huai would be nailed to the pillar of shame. In the future, true kings would probably talk about this matter as a joke. King Huai glowered at King Pingshan, his eyes cold and fierce. King Pingshan didn't care. Among those present, he and King Huai were probably the weakest. However, he was still slightly stronger than King Huai. In front of the other true kings, he had no right to be arrogant, but against King Huai, why should he be afraid? King Pingshan was even ready to fall out with him. After that, he would leave immediately. He didn't want to stay a moment longer. But now that the true kings had gathered, it would be too shameful for him to leave just like that. If the King Huai dared to spout nonsense, then his explosive temper would immediately kick in. Should the other true kings persuade him? Should he stop them? In the face of a great enemy, internal strife was a great taboo. At that time, when his temper flared up, he could just turn around and leave. Who would dare to say anything? As King Pingshan thought of this, he did not hold back. He sneered again and said, "No matter how you look at me, what I said is the truth. A true monarch powerhouse has been humiliated by a demon beast time and time again. The face of a true monarch has been lost time and time again. Today, the reputation of the true kings of the God continent is not as great as it used to be. This is also because some true kings have suffered at the hands of those who are not true kings." King Pingshan sighed and said, "The world has changed. In the past, when a true king appeared, no one dared to disobey. Everyone knew the legend of the invincible true king. But now, it's one thing for some true kings to be incompetent, but they have to implicate all the other true kings." Pingshan, King Huai's face was livid. King Feng, King Song, and the others did not look too good either. As soon as he said that, they were all implicated. They had all suffered at the hands of Fong Ping and the other true kings. It would have been fine if he did not mention it, but now that he did, it was really embarrassing. King Pingshan smiled faintly and said, "Why is King Huai so angry when I speak the truth? As a true king, you can't even accept this. It seems that King Huai is really angry." King Huai's eyes were cold, but King Ping Shan provoked him again. King Huai, that golden-horned beast, is living a good life now. Did you not chase after it last time, and instead gave it an opportunity? I heard that it was only at the Venerable Realm last time, but now it is already at the Divine General Realm. Ping Shan, do you want to fight with me? King Huai was really mad. King Ping Shan was the weakest among the true kings. He was about the same level as him, maybe not even as strong as him, and yet he dared to humiliate him like this? After becoming a true king for 300 years, this guy had always been hiding in his king's territory, unwilling to go anywhere, and had no desire to improve. How could such a true king be mentioned in the same breath as him? Although he, King Huai, had become a true king not long ago, he had fought with the true kings of the Land of Rebirth more than once or twice. In terms of experience in fighting with true kings, how could King Ping Shan compare to him? As King Huai thought of this, King Ping Shan did not hold back and sneered. So what if I am? Do you think I am afraid of you? How dare you? Trash! You are a disgrace to the true kings. Boom! At this point, if King Huai still did not make a move, he would be throwing his face to the ground for King Ping Shan to step on. Without saying a word, he smashed the void with his palm and directly bombarded King Ping Shan's head. The big hand seemed to be separated from the body. The body was still in place, but the palm appeared in front of King Ping Shan's head in the blink of an eye. King Ping Shan did not hold back either. The moment King Huai made his move, a huge mountain fell from the sky, suppressing the void and falling toward King Huai. Both of them made a move at the drop of a hat. One had expected it, and the other was furious. Both showed no mercy. The other true kings frowned slightly. In the crowd, these true kings did not retreat. They still stood where they should be. The attacks of the two also passed through them. They fought across the void, but it did not affect the surroundings. King Feng glanced at King 100 Mountain, then at the War King and the others who were sneering in the distance. His face was ugly, and he transmitted his voice. Enough! The resurrected true king is right there. Are you going to make a fool of yourself? King 100 Mountain, Lord Ji, tell Ping Shan to stop. Although King Ping Shan and King Huai were weak among the true kings, no matter how weak they were still true king experts. Now that the two of them were fighting, it was not easy to suppress them. King Huai and he were on the same side, but he could not make a move against King Ping Shan at this time. Otherwise, it might cause the true kings of the two true king halls to be hostile to each other and start a war. Ji Hong hurriedly said, King Ping Shan, there is no need to be angry. We are facing a great enemy, and we can talk things over. King Ping Shan said angrily, he was the one who attacked first. I was just saying a few words, and he actually dared to attack me. He has gone too far. King Ping Shan was furious, and his mountain pressed down on King Huai. At the same time, he moved his palm, breaking the void. A crack appeared, and with a powerful suction force, it pulled at King Ping Shan's palm. King Ping Shan's palm was like a diamond, and it slammed into the crack, directly passing through it. Although faint golden blood appeared on his palm, it broke through the crack in the blink of an eye, and his palm hit King Ping Shan's body. King Ping Shan avoided the attack on his head, but his shoulder was also hit by the palm, and a palm print instantly appeared on his shoulder. At the same time, his mountain also fell down to suppress him. King Huai bombarded the mountain with one palm, and the mountain instantly shattered, but it exploded on its own. The explosion turned the void pitch black. King Huai also staggered, and many bloody marks appeared on his body. The two of them fought without hesitation, and cracks appeared in the sky above the high platform. In the crowd, King Feng frowned slightly. With a wave of his hand, he shattered a crack beside him, and it disappeared in the blink of an eye. On the opposite side, King Hundred Mountain also let out a soft snort, and the cracks that appeared nearby also shattered and disappeared, not spreading further. Ji Hong was a little helpless. These true kings were arrogant and unruly. Although he was a king lord and a true king, he could not control these guys. However, he was on good terms with King Pingshan, and at this moment he said again, "King Pingshan, King Huai, please calm down. There is no need to fight now and hurt the harmony." "Harmony?" King Pingshan sneered. "What harmony is there to speak of? Back then, King Huai's son killed my direct disciple, and I have long been displeased with him. If not for the 100 Kings Council calling a truce between the two sides, I would have killed this guy long ago." King Huai also let out a cold snort and said indifferently, "Your disciple was killed because of your poor teaching. Pingshan, do you think you can beat me? Since you can't fight here, why don't you go somewhere else?" "Humph." King Huai snorted coldly. How could he leave now? King Pingshan was obviously talking nonsense. King Pingshan, however, was not going to let it go, and said disdainfully, "I don't think you dare." Ji Hong felt a headache coming on. Beside him, King Hundred Mountain frowned slightly and said, "Pingshan, let's drop this matter. If there is any grudge, we can talk about it after the 100 Kings Council opens. Then, let's talk about it later." After saying that, King Pingshan sneered and said, "I can't bear to see such a disgusting face with such a guy. I'll take my leave first." After saying this, King Pingshan flew away, traveling 10 miles with a step, and disappeared in front of everyone in the blink of an eye. No one said anything. King Huai waited for him to leave, then suddenly sneered and said, "Pingshan never dares to fight a true king, but he suddenly came to trouble me today. I'm afraid he was waiting for this moment. He ran away." He said that when he appeared to fight with the other side, King Pingshan suddenly brought up the matter of the golden-horned beast, deliberately looking for trouble with him. Now that he ran away so quickly, it was clear that he had no intention of fighting and deliberately left this place. No one said anything. King Pingshan left, and no one could stop him. Unless Fake King was here, no one could restrain King Pingshan. The true King Palace Master still had some restraints on a true king, and the others were not qualified. Opposite, at the peak of Mount Royalty, Warlord said with a smile, "King Pingshan is a coward, but he runs very fast. I really have my eyes on him this time, ready to kill him. That old man is smart, and now he's running away." Su Clan's elder ancestor also said, "There's no need to target this kind of non-combatant true king. All the true kings present today can be killed. Bamboo King, Green Wolf King, Huai King, and Pine King are much easier to kill. Ji Hong can be let go for now, and since King Pingshan has left, there's no need to worry too much." At this time, Li Jun also interrupted. "Two ancestors. Zhang Tao is determined to start the Battle of the Pinnacle today, no matter what the outcome of the 9th rank battle is. He will start the ultimate battle. Later, you two elders try to kill 1 or 2 of King Huai, and the other 4, I'll go deal with King Feng." "Can you do it?" Warlord questioned. "Don't underestimate King Feng, kid. He and King Baishan are the strongest here, and King Hua is not weak either. These 3 are actually similar in strength to us. There's no harm in trying." Li Jun said with a smile, "I'll take on King Feng and King Hua together. If Zhang Tao comes, leave King Baishan to him. As for King Ji Luo and Ji Hong, leave them to him too. Elders, just deal with the other 4 kings." Warlord glanced at him, his eyes moving slightly, and said with a smile, "You're quite confident. You're going to take on King Feng and King Hua together?" Zhang Tao, that kid, said that King Feng has probably taken the second path. "With your current situation, I'm afraid you're not his match even if you fight him alone, let alone King Hua." Li Jun did not say anything, but beside him, Elder Su said, "Don't ask. Since this kid is confident, then let him handle it. But these people might not be all. Li Jun said quickly, I've already informed the Jiang, Zhang, Shun, Lu, and Meng families' elders. They will arrive at the crucial moment. Star Town's 13 families. Now that the Yang family had declined, there were only 12 desperate realms left, excluding Li Jun. The Chun family's elder had to guard the Mount Royal Sea Passage. That passage could not be given up, so under normal circumstances, he and Heavenly King Subduing would not show up. The remaining 10 elders could be mobilized. 2 were already here, and Li Jun informed 5 more. Warlord and Elder Su frowned slightly. These kids of the neo-martial era were really going to make a big deal this time. At the same time, Magic City Catacombs. The war was still ongoing. As the human reinforcements increased, Chen Yaozu's side still had 4 people, but Li Deyong's side had more and more people. The cat killed 12 rank 9s in one go. The original 50 rank 9s had become 30 in the blink of an eye. Linlong and the other 4 were the first to come to help. Jiao's side also had 5 rank 9 demons and many rank 7 and 8 demons. In this way, the number of people on both sides was equal. When the fight started, they were not at a disadvantage. After that, 10 foreign powerhouses entered from Hope City. The Catacombs side had changed color. From having twice the opponent's combat strength to now, they were the ones with fewer people. If this went on, they might be finished. Damn it! Damn it! What are the others doing? Where are they? These people were furious too. Where were the people who were hunting Fang Ping? Where were the people who were killing Zhang Weiyu and the others? Dozens of people were killing them. Could it be that not a single reinforcement came? They were terrified. When they sensed that the people from the 5 Holy Lands were about to arrive, Li Daong roared, "Kill them! Avenge Old Kong!" The more they fought, the more their blood boiled. Reinforcements kept coming. They were no longer fighting alone. Even this time, Sino Nation was not at a disadvantage in terms of numbers. They were not as frustrated as before. Moreover, now, they were even outnumbered. This was the first time such a situation had happened since the start of the Catacombs War. In the past, humans were always outnumbered. The reinforcements from the catacombs were endless. Humans had always been frustrated. However, this time, although there were still many catacombs powerhouses, they were truly at an advantage in terms of numbers. More and more powerhouses came to help. This made everyone's blood boil and their fighting spirits soar. Kill them quickly and go help the other parties. Li Daong and his party originally had 18 rank 9s. Later on, Jiao, Linlong, and the other humans and demons came, making a total of 28 rank 9s. Not only were there rank 9s, but many rank 8 powerhouses also came to participate in the war. Now that there were 10 rank 9s to help, they had already crushed the other party in terms of numbers. Humans could even fight 1 against 2, not to mention having more people. At this moment, everyone was performing beyond their level. The powerhouses who created the space rift were not just 1 or 2 people. The sound of killing shook the sky. The catacomb side was losing ground. This was even when the 10 people from the 5 sacred lands had not arrived. Seeing that the situation was not good, someone in the crowd roared, "Retreat! Retreat to the north!" There were reinforcements over there. There were dozens of them over there. Yet they were slow. No one knew what they were up to. This made everyone on the scene furious. They were already at a disadvantage. Yet those people still did not rush over. If this went on, more and more people would die, and they would really be surrounded by these resurrected martial artists. These rank 9 powerhouses fought and retreated at the same time. There were explosions in the void. Powerhouses often fell. There were catacombs martial artists and human martial artists. However, at this moment, both sides did not care about this. At this stage of the fight, whether the fallen people were dead or alive, they had lost their combat strength now. It all depended on who won in the end. Whoever won would clean up the battlefield. Those who did not die, those on the enemy side, could not escape this disaster. Dozens of rank 19s were fighting, mixed with many rank 7 and 8 powerhouses, killing until the sky changed color. Saber light and sword shadows, fist shadows and palm prints densely covered the void. Even if they knew that there were many enemy reinforcements ahead, the human side was also boiling with anger. Since they had gathered, then they would kill together. Among the rank 8 powerhouses, Li Hansong was now unique. This martial arts university prodigy, for the first time on the battlefield, demonstrated what was called invincible defense. Wearing divine armor, Li Hansong's roar shook the sky. His golden glow illuminated heaven and earth. His opponent was a top-notch powerhouse in Origin Path. The moment he attacked, he created space rifts. However, when the rift slashed across the divine armor, other than making ear-piercing scraping sounds, it could not break the divine armor. This made that person extremely sullen. The other party was not his opponent. No, the other party could not fight back at all. He was getting beaten up. No matter who he was fighting with, this fellow had his eyes on him. Without a second word, he went up to hug him and fight. Under such circumstances, if he could not kill a person and was hugged by the other party, he would be waiting for death. At this moment, the others seemed to have noticed this. Li Daong roared, "Ignore him! Hug those weak rank 9s. Hug one, kill one." Those weak rank 9s could not kill Li Hansong. If they were hugged by him, under the chaotic battle of dozens of people, they would be waiting for death. Hearing that, Li Hansong immediately changed his strategy, specifically running toward the weak rank 9 powerhouses. Some of the weaker rank 9s were fighting with humans. When they saw him, they were scared out of their wits and ran away immediately. It was not difficult to break free from a rank 8 powerhouses' embrace. However, the other party had invincible defense divine armor. It was very difficult to kill him. If he was determined to hug one person, he could still hold them for a second. At this juncture, being controlled for a second was courting death. "Don't run!" Li Hansong roared. He was also very sullen. He was not fast enough. He could not catch up. The next moment, Li Hansong roared, "Everyone, help me!" As soon as he finished speaking, he raised his buttocks and aimed at Beigong Yen in the crowd. Kick me out and send me crashing into them. Even if I can't kill them, I'll still hug one." Beigong Yen was stunned for a moment. At this juncture, this kid had a really unique fighting style. Thoughts aside, Beigong Yen did not hold back. He kicked out with all his strength. This guy's divine armor made them envious. It was a pity that this guy was too weak. Otherwise, if this guy charged into the crowd, ignoring all attacks and possessing the ability to kill a rank 9, he would be truly invincible. Li Hansong shot out, crashing into the crowd in the blink of an eye. He was beaten until he was disoriented. He wanted to hug a rank 9, but he was sent flying in the blink of an eye. Seeing that he could not hold these people, Li Hansong suddenly roared, "Instructor Li, come to me!" At this moment, he felt Li Chongqing's aura. The next moment, Li Chongqing shot out. Everyone had forgotten that his divine armor could be taken off. Within 1,000 meters, he could maintain the divine armor's operation on his own. When Old Man Li shot out, the divine armor on Li Hansong disappeared suddenly. The next moment, it covered Old Man Li. "Instructor Li, charge in directly." Old Man Li was also very excited at this moment. His attack power was enough. Under his outburst, his vitality could reach 150,000 calories and above. He could kill Origin Dao within 3 swords. However, he did not dare to charge into the crowd recklessly, in case he was surrounded and killed. Golden Body's 7th stage was not invincible. However, at this moment, wearing Li Hansong's divine armor, Old Man Li felt extremely safe. Without another word, Old Man Li was truly fearless and fearless at this moment. He charged straight into the enemy's crowd. Several rank 9s bombarded him. At the back, Li Hansong's face was pale. He was eating the imperishable substance lump in his hand. His defense was invincible, but it was consumed. He had consumed a lot. Old Man Li laughed maniacally. Piercing, piercing, piercing. The piercing sword was unleashed consecutively. 3 consecutive swords, going all out. A weak rank. 9 was swallowed by the space directly. Another weak rank. 9 was sliced into pieces by the swords, falling to the ground. A Origin Dao was also heavily injured, fleeing frantically. Old Man Li paused for a moment and began to recover. Then he chased after them quickly. Everyone behind him followed suit. While chasing, Li Daong scolded, "Li Hansong, you can borrow the divine armor. Why not lend it to us?" This bastard kid, if he had lent it to him previously, he could have gone on a killing spree. He actually did not lend it to him. He only lent it to Li Chongqing when he came. Was he looking down on him or something? I forgot. Li Hansong's answer was straightforward. He had forgotten. He did not have this habit. Moreover, Zhang Tao had said before that his divine armor should not be seen by others easily. Other than Fang Ping, he had never lent it to anyone else. This time, it was only when Old Man Li arrived that he remembered this. Otherwise, he would not have thought about it at all. At this moment, everyone could not care less about asking. They could not care less about the power of his divine armor. One by one, they chased after him. The enemies were getting fewer and fewer. The fewer, the easier it was to kill. Moreover, when it came to winning battles, the demons were also incomparably powerful. A few rank 9 demons. Initially, Jiao was just a bystander. Now, seeing that the humans were about to win, Jiao was also in high spirits. He led the demons to charge and kill, incomparably courageous. Kill. The 7 Southern Territory demons are invincible. Jiao was yelling and excited at the same time. They had won. The catacombs' reinforcements were still more than 100 li away from here. However, the more they killed, the fewer the enemies were. Wearing the divine armor, the longevity sword was truly comparable to an Origin Dao invincible powerhouse. Killing rank 9s was as easy as chopping melons and vegetables. Behind them, the powerhouses of the 5 sacred lands were catching up. Even if they encountered those reinforcements in front, they still had the strength to fight. In the sky, rank 9s were falling continuously, more and more. When they entered the territory, hundreds of rank 9 powerhouses were in high spirits, thinking that killing the resurrected martial artists was a piece of cake. However, at this moment, many of them were pessimistic and hopeless. Their faces were filled with dejection. In every battlefield, no one had the upper hand. Resurrected martial artists were born from hundreds of battles. Without exception, rank 9 powerhouses spent their entire lives in battle. Although the competition in Divine Land was intense, there would not be such frequent battles. Only the new martial era powerhouses were born from death. They fought their entire lives and never stopped. Every rank 9 was a rank 9 who fought their way out of a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood. Even powerhouses like Zhang Tao, who guarded Mount Imperial Sea, had entered the territory to fight before guarding the passageway. The resurrected martial artists in Polaris City were the ones with the least combat experience, but they might not be less than the catacombs powerhouses. Military Department Deputy Commander-in-Chief like Li Daong had entered the battlefield no less than 1,000 times in his life. Only by surviving hundreds of battles could he achieve rank 9. 1, 2, 3. In the distance, Fong Ping counted slowly. As he counted, he smiled. They had won. Before the war started, on the catacombs side, there were nearly 50 rank 9s besieging Li Daong's group. Now, there were less than 20 energy light pillars. On this battlefield, nearly 30 catacombs rank 9s had died. On this day, 7 Southern Territory had killed nearly 100 rank 9s. Ji Yao and the rest stopped in their tracks at this moment. Their expressions were frighteningly solemn. The land of rebirth, resurrected martial artists, was the Destiny Royal Court really going to participate in such a war? A bunch of murderous gods. At this moment, a murderous aura gathered and formed. In the void, an invincible aura gathered. Even though the other party knew that they were right in front of them, they still charged toward them without hesitation. Nearly 100 li away, everyone could feel the boiling murderous aura, so piercing that their golden bodies trembled. Jinan stopped and looked at Ji Yao. Her gaze flickered slightly. It was time to go. If they did not leave now, they might not be able to leave. At this moment, Fong Ping had been captured. They had achieved their goal. Although the God General had lost in the battle, the Destiny Royal Court had not lost anything. Everything was worth capturing Fong Ping. Moreover, the main casualties this time were some of the true king's direct subordinates and people from the Heavenly Plant's royal court. Their people had not suffered many losses. Let's retreat, Ji Nen said. Although Zhang Weiyu and the rest still seemed to be fighting, Li Daong's side also had close to 20 people. On their side, there were 27 rank 9 powerhouses. If they were to gather together, there would be more than 50 rank 9 powerhouses. However, at this time, Ji Nen felt that there was no need to continue fighting. Uncle Wang, there are still a few true kings direct god generals. Kill them to silence them. Ji Yao said telepathically. 27 people, not all of them were royal court god generals. 5 or 6 of them were true king's direct subordinates. Although they were all on the Destiny Royal Court side, it was time to silence them. Ji Nan's expression changed slightly, but she also knew that this was necessary. If they captured Fong Ping, once these people returned to the true king's side and exposed everything, it would also cause the Ji family to be targeted by the true kings. Ji Nan said a few telepathic words without batting an eyelid, arranging for a few people to surround Fong Ping. In the next moment, she suddenly attacked. Fong Ping ignored all of this directly, calmly chatting with Ji Yao through telepathy. After killing these people, what about the others? Ji Yao seemed to be a little hesitant. For the first time, she took the initiative to ask Fong Ping, Uncle Wang and the 5 Commander-in-Chief are the Ji family's mainstays. These 6 are worthy of being trusted. Fong Ping, do you think I should? Fong Ping said calmly, things don't happen more than 3 times. If we silence them twice in a row, the other royal court god generals will probably be shaken too. It's better to keep Ji, Nan, and the others. As for the remaining 10 or so god generals who are not from the Ji family, think of a way to kill them all. Do you have a plan? Or wait for our people to come and kill them? But they won't stay, Ji Yao said hesitantly. If you and I use the true king's avatar together, it's enough to kill a few god generals. After killing all those outsiders, Uncle Wang and I will retreat and say that we split up. At this moment, there are no true kings in the 7 southern regions watching. Even if they suspect, they won't believe that we killed everyone. Ji Yao originally wanted to keep the avatar and join forces with Fong Ping to kill Ji, Nan, and the others. However, at this moment, she suddenly felt a little hesitant. If they really killed 6 Divine Tao powerhouses, was it really worth it? Moreover, these people had done great things with her this time. They would not betray her at this time. Moreover, if these people really died, her father might also be suspicious. Fong Ping's tone was as if he was thinking for her sake. He smiled and said telepathically, "We don't have to kill them," while he was communicating with Ji Yao. On the other side, Fong Ping suddenly said to a god general who was not a direct descendant of the Ji family, "Leave quickly. Ji Yao wants to kill you all to silence you. Idiots! If you're not a direct descendant of the Ji family, how dare you stay? You're just waiting for death." Other than Ji Nan and the 6-rank 9 powerhouses and those true kings' direct descendants, there were more than 10 god generals who were not Ji family's direct descendants. "Don't go to Mount Royal Sea. Find a place to hide. Quickly!" Fong Ping telepathically again. In the crowd, a few people trembled slightly. The Ji family wanted to kill them to silence them as they fought with those true kings' direct descendants. They looked at each other, their hearts trembling. The Ji family was so ruthless. In fact, when Ji Nan asked them to kill the true king's direct descendants, they already had this worry. At this moment, Fong Ping's words could be considered to have poked their weakest spot. What should they do? Should they join forces with these true king's direct descendants who were not yet dead to fight back against the Ji family? Or escape? Ji Yao was still talking to Fong Ping, but Fong Ping was already waiting to watch a big show. Ji Yao, this woman, had a simple way of thinking. "You want me to cooperate, and I will really cooperate with you? Ridiculous! Why should I let you take advantage of me? I want the Ji family to gain power. The stronger the Ji family is, the more control they have over the Destiny Royal Court." This was something Fong Ping was obviously not willing to do. Did Ji Yao really think that he was on the same side as her? Fong Ping transmitted his voice to both sides, and at the same time, he transmitted his voice to the Phoenix Sparrow. "Little Phoenix Sparrow, will you consider following me? There's a golden-horned beast in the 7 Southern Territory. It was originally rank 7, but after following me for a year or two, it is now rank 9, and it has become the Demon King of the 7 Southern Territory. If you follow me, forget it. How about the 2 of us secretly cooperate? I know you are smarter than Ji Yao, but what are you now? A mount with a powerful master can benefit from that, but Ji Yao, forget it. Big boobs and no brains. Are you sure you want to follow her to the end? If you join forces with me, this time I will give you a rank 9 Monster Phoenix, one of your clansmen, the one in Monster Phoenix City. You can think of a way to subdue it, then you will have some family assets. How about it? Will you consider it?" The Phoenix Sparrow's wings flapped a little, its eyes staring at Fong Ping. It did not reply immediately. Fong Ping smiled, indifferently, looking like he had the pearl of wisdom in his hands. "In this world, there is nothing that I cannot do. You have to believe that." Chapter 837. At this stage of the battle, the most dangerous place was not other places, but Fong Ping's side. If Ji Yao turned hostile, Fong Ping would be in danger. However, at this time, Fong Ping was not doing nothing. Fong Ping secretly transmitted his voice to the powerhouses, including Phoenix Sparrow. Fong Ping was also guiding them. The battle was still going on. The powerhouses under the true kings were dying one after another. Some were unwilling, some were resentful, and some were numb. Some powerhouses under the true kings were really numb. Kill. No matter who it was today, they could not be trusted. They could only kill. Fong Ping watched for a while, and suddenly said, "Ji Yao, let me try that Origin's powerhouse who uses fists." Ji Yao's expression changed. A Divine Path powerhouse. Fong Ping wanted to fight a Divine Path powerhouse. Did this guy even have the confidence to fight a divine path powerhouse now? Ji Yao's eyes flickered. She said lightly, "You can try." On the other side, Ji Nan had killed someone. Hearing that, her expression changed slightly. Ji Yao pressed her hands lightly. Let Fong Ping try. It was best if he was injured. Now that Fong Ping was safe and sound, she felt a sense of crisis. Fong Ping did not care. His figure moved, and in an instant, he was in front. This time, Fong Ping did not have a weapon. Fundamental fist techniques. A giant golden fist blasted out. Fong Ping, who used imperishable substances to fight, had an extremely strong outburst. The other party was also a powerhouse who used fists. At this moment, his face was full of grief and indignation. Seeing this, he roared, "How dare you? You're just a venerable. Do you really think I can't kill you?" Silent destruction. The other party roared. From Fong Ping's perspective, his energy force was originally about 120,000 calories. His outburst was not weak, probably reaching 80%. Close to 100,000 calories outburst. Such a powerhouse was not considered too weak among the rank 9. However, at this time, the other party's outburst was even stronger. The surrounding energy was rapidly absorbed by the other party. Although the punch did not break the space, it caused spatial fluctuations. Fong Ping chuckled. "You use fists. I'm not a martial artist who uses fists. However, looking at your fist technique, it's not that great. Let me test you with my fist technique." Invincible fist. Fong Ping let out a loud roar, just a casual roar. Lu Fengru seemed to know this combat technique, but he had never learned it before. Fong Ping's fists expanded instantly. His fists rotated and blasted out. His feet stepped on the air. At this moment, Fong Ping was no longer riding the air. He was standing in the air. Stance. Flying in the air and standing in the air were slightly different. Experts flying in the air felt like they were floating, while martial artists standing in the air felt like they were standing on solid ground. Fong Ping stepped in midair, as if he was stepping on the ground, exploding the air and exploding the energy. Both of them quickly brandished their fists and engaged in close combat. His opponent had been using fists for many years. Fong Ping was no match for him. The shadows of his fists covered the void, and the angles were extremely tricky. When he reached rank 9, he could punch from any angle. He was more than happy to have Fong Ping fight him in close combat. Boom! In the blink of an eye, the back of Fong Ping's head was hit by the other party. He staggered, his eyes slightly dizzy. Blood flowed from his mouth and nose. Fong Ping quickly steadied his footsteps, brandishing his fists with both hands, blasting the void. The boorish man sneered and said sternly, "You think you're worthy of killing me? Ridiculous. You're just a piece of trash with nothing but strength." Fong Ping was very strong. He was really strong. Even if he could only unleash 50% of his destructive power, 30 yuan of destructive power was enough to shatter the space. It was comparable to a vitality strength of 150,000 calories. However, Fong Ping's combat experience was average. In close combat, he blasted the void a few times, but it only affected the other party. He did not hit the other party directly. The boorish man exchanged a small injury for a greater result. After a few explosive punches, Fong Ping's golden body trembled, flesh and blood splattered everywhere. Fong Ping's expression was cold. However, he did not care about his injuries. "I'm just a piece of trash with nothing but strength." He had improved too quickly. He knew this himself. His poor control of strength was one thing, and his combat experience with same-rank peers was also lacking. When he killed his enemies, he would either trap them or self-detonate his mentality until the other party could not move. Then, He would unleash a big move and kill the other party directly. However, today was an opportunity. This person's origin path was very short, but his control of strength was high. He could hurt Fong Ping, but he could not kill him. Moreover, the other party was a close combat expert. If he could not kill Fong Ping, he could grind Fong Ping a little. He had not fought a battle like this for a long time. Fong Ping had almost forgotten this feeling. He remembered that the first time he fought to his heart's content was when he was in Yunmeng Military School, when he was walking the path of invincibility among rank 3. He had already forgotten who he was fighting with. He only remembered that during the battle, his vitality was truly depleted, and he broke through collective fists and advanced to peak rank 3. Vajra Punch. Fong Ping remembered that he used Vajra Punch at that time. It was the most commonly used combat technique among upper stage rank 3 martial artists. Although the subsequent Maha Punch was of a higher level, it was actually used to injure the internal organs. Vajra Punch, on the other hand, was a fist that was truly hard and fierce. Fong Ping, who was still using the fundamental fist, just now suddenly changed his combat technique. Vajra Punch. This was a combat technique that allowed martial artists to achieve collective fists. Now that he thought about it, the so-called collective fists was actually to allow one's strength to be controlled, allowing martial artists to explode to their limits. Prediction. I seem to have forgotten how to fight in close combat in the truest sense. Battle prediction. You have to predict the direction of the opponent's attack in advance to avoid getting hurt. Fong Ping recalled many things at that moment. He recalled some of the combat techniques that Qin Fengqing had told him in the past. Although that fellow's strength had been left behind, his combat talent was quite strong. His control of strength was also very high. It was because of his rational use of vitality and energy that he rarely wasted. If he could avoid his opponent's attack, he would never take it head-on. As a once-honed Fong Ping, his vitality was not as rich as the others. If he wanted to defeat an opponent with rich vitality in the 3 lower ranks, he had to know how to use his vitality and conserve it. He had to pay the smallest price in exchange for the biggest result. My control of strength has always been unable to improve. Even if I split my vitality, it's useless. I'm afraid I'm lacking this kind of battle. A truly satisfying battle in the truest sense of the word. Bone marrow like mercury, collective fists, gather the strength. At one point, thoughts flashed through Fong Ping's mind. His face was glaring like a vajra. Blood and gold alternated on his body as he waved his fists, blocking, hammering, and punching prediction. At that moment, Fong Ping crossed his arms, protecting his right shoulder. Boom! The opponent's punch landed on Fong Ping's arm, but not his right shoulder. Fong Ping's gaze flickered. His feet stepped on the air, twisting his body, turning around, and throwing a punch. Boom! The opponent blocked quickly and took a few steps back. The flesh on his arm disappeared, his golden bones dimming. The rough man's expression became much more solemn. He said gloomily, "Interesting. Using me as a whetstone to hone your combat techniques. Do you want to truly control the strength that belongs to you?" Fong Ping chuckled. "I don't know how to use my fists, but I think killing you won't be a problem. Let's try again then." At that moment, the rough man had forgotten everything. He was a fist-out powerhouse, using his fists to enter the origin Dao. How could he be defeated by a martial artist who did not know how to use his fists? Even if the opponent was a 7th refinement of golden body, he was only a rank 8 martial artist who had not entered godhood. Not to mention that the opponent was very young. On the side, Ji Nan and the others had already killed the other true king's direct subordinates. When she saw Fong Ping's punch forcing the opponent to retreat and exploding the opponent's arm, Jinan's expression was ugly and gloomy. She sent a voice transmission. This person must not be left alive. He must not be left alive. Initially, he was improving rapidly, but his combat strength was all because of his special techniques. Now, he actually began to realize his own shortcomings and began to hone his combat techniques, and combat awareness. If this goes on, he will soon become a top-notch powerhouse in godhood. Yaoer, once you find out what's special about him, kill him immediately. Ji Nen felt threatened. Fang Ping's special ability was scary, but this guy might not be able to enter the Origin Dao realm. His essence, spirit, and soul were scattered. In the past, Fang Ping, who was invincible in rank 3, had his essence, spirit, and soul united. He, who was invincible in rank 6, had his essence, spirit, and soul united too. His strength was not too scattered. However, when he reached rank 8, Fang Ping was already messed up. He really only had a body of strength. His combat strength should not be much different from Old Man Li's. It was pure combat strength, not mentality self-detonation ability. However, Old Man Li killed rank 9s, including Origin Dao, as if he was cutting melons and vegetables. Fang Ping could not. He did not use mentality self-detonation. Without the Golden House to trap the enemy, he could not even kill a weak rank 9s, unless the other party was stupid and let him kill them. However, now, Fang Ping was controlling his own strength. A destructive force as high as 60 yuan was equivalent to a vitality strength of 300,000 calories. If Fang Ping really unified his strength and unleashed 60 yuan of destructive force with each move, then he would be the top rank 9, slightly stronger than Zhang Weiyu and the rest. However, not only could Fang Ping not do it, but the 30 yuan of destructive force that he controlled was actually very loose. He consumed so much imperishable substance, but used very little of it on the blade. Most of it was wasted by him. However, now, Fang Ping suddenly started to find people to practice his fist techniques, using his own strength to fight, as if he was familiarizing himself. This was not a good thing for them. Ji Yao's expression was also dark and uncertain. After a while, she said telepathically, "Uncle Wang, I'm the same as him, right?" Ji Nan was speechless. "I'm the same, aren't I? Although I've reached the venerable stage quickly, does Yao really have the combat techniques and ability of a venerable? Without Ancestor Wang's clone, without a level 9 divine weapon, without a large amount of Fountain of Life to help me recover, Uncle Wang, if I go against those 100 battle venerables from the land of rebirth, can I survive 10 moves?" "You're different," Ji Yao sighed softly. "He's different too. Right now, he seems to have found his flaws. He's making up for it, and I should be the same." After returning to the royal court this time, Yao wants to go to the border city of the 1,000 Demon Royal Court, and join the border army. Yao, Jinan's expression was complicated. This was the choice of some heroes back then. Li Zhu started from the border. Back then, Li Zhu joined the army at the border of Tianji and Destiny Royal Court, becoming a soldier at the border. At that time, the two royal courts were still at war. Li Zhu fought continuously at the border, rising to power at the border with the left and right divine generals. He even roped in a group of true 100 battle powerhouses and formed the current Tianji army. Before this, the Tianji army was not this one. Did Ji Yao want to take this path too? Ji Yao did not think too much. She just felt that she needed to find a place where no one knew her, to train herself. She did not want to start a war with the land of rebirth. Here, only life and death mattered, and there were very few fair battles. With the Tianji royal court, both sides were in a truce now. They rarely fought. However, The 1,000-demon royal court's demon race was really rebellious and unruly, repeatedly violating the boundaries. The demon race had an army too. The army formed by the demon race had extremely strong combat strength too. There, perhaps she could fight to her heart's content. No demon race would care if she was a descendant of a true king. Ji Yao thought about it, but she quickly returned to her original state. She looked at Fang Ping, her eyes flickering, and sent a voice transmission. "Uncle Wang, do you think it's good or bad to keep him? Will his existence really affect the entire Godland in the future?" Ji Nan frowned. What did Ji Yao mean? Without waiting for him to speak, Ji Yao took a deep breath and said, "Let's wait and see. Don't get involved. Let him continue fighting. I also want to see if the prodigies of the Land of Rebirth are real prodigies, or if they're so difficult to deal with only because they have special abilities." Bang! Fang Ping's left arm trembled. A strong force was stepped into the void by his trembling body, causing the void to explode. Dispersing force. Fang Ping seemed to have returned to the time when he practiced his stance. Before he became a martial artist, he practiced his stance at home. His sister pushed him, but he did not fall. A roly-poly toy. There were 3 heavens in the stance. Stand firm, and stand in the air. A person could not be pushed down. Attack and dispel force. Walk like a cat, walk like a swan. Fang Ping recalled the stance technique he learned in the past. His feet moved like a cat, and suddenly he circled around the rough man. The punch must be strong and fierce, and the withdrawal must be swift. Bang! Fang Ping's fists were like thunder. With a punch, the rough man took a step back. Before he could steady himself, Fang Ping moved his feet like a cat leaping and appeared behind the other party in the blink of an eye. Another punch was thrown. The rough man's expression changed slightly. He turned around and punched Fang Ping's head. Fang Ping's feet were rooted, trembling slightly. His head tilted slightly, as if it was smeared with oil. The other party's iron fist slashed across his head, leaving a trail of blood, but it did not hit Fang Ping's head. Fang Ping's fist had already punched out. His punch landed on the other party's elbow, fast and fierce. Crack! The sound of an explosion was extremely clear. The flesh on the rough man's arm disappeared instantly, and his golden bones exploded directly. Internal explosion. Gather strength. The rough man took another step back, his expression turning ugly. He was injured. He, who entered the path of fists, was actually dodged when he attacked the other party. No, the force was neutralized, while the other party gathered strength and blasted his left arm with a punch. I am a divine Tao powerhouse. I walk the path of fists. Everything can be broken. At this moment, the rough man was suddenly shaken. Why? He was inferior to me. He was only a venerable, and the other party was not even a powerhouse who used fists. Yet, a layman actually used fists to defeat him. This was impossible. Am I wrong? Is my fist just a weakling's fist? The rough man's face flushed red. The strength in his body suddenly showed signs of declining. Fang Ping, on the other hand, stopped and gave him a deep look. The origin path could not be shaken. The Tao was indomitable. Since he had left, then he should not look back. He should not question his own Tao. The rough man's belief was firm, but he had been shaken by whether or not to use a divine weapon. This meant that he was not as determined as he thought. Now, his left arm was blasted by Fang Ping's bare hands. At this moment, the man was shaken again. The increased strength seemed to have begun to decline. Do you still want to continue? Fang Ping stopped his attack and laughed. Your fist is not hard enough. Your fist is not fierce enough either. Relying on this kind of fist technique, you want to enter the sky with Tao and become a true king? Dream on. The rough man refused to believe it. His eyes were bloodshot. Let's fight again. Enough. At this moment, Ji Yao gave Fong Ping a deep look and said coldly, "Are you done playing? Fong Ping, don't forget your identity. You're just a captive. Someone kill him. It's time to end this." She did not want to kill Fong Ping, but the rough man. Fong Ping seemed to be testing something, experimenting with something, and also training himself. Ji Yao felt that there was no need to give Fong Ping such a chance. As soon as she said that, Ji Nan suddenly attacked, heading straight for the man. Fong Ping glanced at the others with a half-smile. Still not attacking? Did they really want to wait for death? "My people are coming," Fong Ping suddenly said. At this moment, the battlefield in front was less than 50 li away from here. Ji Yao's brows furrowed slightly. At this moment, in the crowd, a total of 8 people suddenly attacked. 4 of them killed the powerhouses beside them directly, while the other 4 leaped into the air, extremely fast, disappearing on the spot in the blink of an eye. And Fong Ping moved at this moment too. Fong Ping stepped on the air, his speed rapid, heading straight for Ji Yao. "How dare you?" Ji Yao roared, retreating hurriedly. "Let me capture you. I won't kill you." Fong Ping chuckled, light as a swan goose. He appeared beside Ji Yao in the blink of an eye. Beside her, an Origins powerhouse saw this and slashed at Fong Ping. Fong Ping, however, slapped the blade with his palm. The blade trembled, the sound of metal reverberating throughout heaven and earth, extremely ear-piercing. Ji Yao's ears seeped rapidly with golden blood. The phoenix sparrow she was sitting on also flapped its wings, showing signs of falling. Fong Ping's movements were still extremely fast. He smiled. "Thank you all. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to understand what a real battle is. So that's how it is. Origins. Origins is nothing more than this. Strength enhancement. At the end of the day, it was still strength. Golden Body 7 refinements. Strength was not inferior to any rank 9. Most of these powerhouses under Ji Yao's command had advanced when they had just stepped into Golden Body 6 refinements. Vitality was only comparable to a human's 90,000 calories. Even if they had stepped into Origins, their own energy was only comparable to a human's 120,000 calories. Since they had not gone far on Origins, no matter how much strength enhancement, it was just that. The expression of the god powerhouse wielding the broadsword changed. The palm that held the broadsword exploded abruptly. Disbelief was written all over his face. Fong Ping had become stronger too quickly. When it comes to combat, I am actually not any less than you all, only more than you all. I don't lack courage. I don't lack fighting spirit. I don't lack foundation. I don't lack anything. The only thing I lack is that I always feel that I'm weak. I've seen too many powerhouses. There are too many geniuses. I've always felt that I'm very weak, really very weak. In their eyes, I'm not worth mentioning. My combat strength is not as good as theirs. My combat techniques are not as good as theirs. My experience is not as good as theirs. That's why I have to increase my realm. But think about it. Who are they? The martial king with unparalleled combat strength, the longevity sword with 10,000 Dao as one, the snake king who endured for 10 years to avenge his blood feud. They are all the prodigies of this era. Their realms are higher than mine. Their experience is stronger than mine. Of course, they can defeat me. But how many humans are like this? Not to mention your catacombs. They can defeat me under the same circumstances. Do you think you're worthy? Fong Ping strode, leisurely, all smiles. As he spoke, he had already delivered more than 10 palm strikes. The powerhouse wielding the broadsword could only feel that it was difficult to escape from the devil's clutches. Bang! The sound of an explosion rang out again. On the rank, 8 Chongdao, cracks appeared indistinctly. The palm had completely exploded. Not far away, Ji Nan was about to return to help, but the rough-looking man was like a crazed demon. He did not escape, but roared madly, entangled Ji Nan, and started a bloodbath. His fists were invincible. Fang Ping could not defeat him. Ji Nan could not either. Damn it! Fang Ping, how dare you? Ji Nan roared. He did not expect the others to suddenly erupt. 4 of them escaped, and 4 of them attacked his people. On their side, including him, there were only 6 rank 9s. He was killing the rough-looking man, and the other 4 were fighting one on each side. As for the person protecting Ji Yao, he was actually being beaten back by Fang Ping. This Origins powerhouse at this moment was completely no match for Fang Ping. Fang Ping, however, ignored his roars, looked at Ji Yao, who was constantly escaping, smiled, and said, "Don't run. Really, I won't kill you. You'll be in danger if you run now. If you run and you meet those who escaped just now, and they kill you, what will you do? Only here is safe enough. I just don't like it when you guys control everything. This is my home field. You guys must listen to me, not me being your captive." In the distance, Ji Yao's face was livid, and she shouted angrily, You instigated those people? Before she showed any intention to kill those people, why did they suddenly erupt? Only Fang Ping could do it. No wonder he suddenly restrained his aura. It was probably to secretly contact those people and instigate them. Fang Ping sighed. Don't make it sound so bad. I'm just teaching you. When you do things, don't start anticlimactic. Don't start without perfecting the plan. If you want to kill them, wouldn't it be better if you showed your intention earlier? Tell the people you trust that you want to kill them, and be more careful. You don't tell them, don't guard against them, and only tell them when you want to kill them. Do you really think that everything is under your control? These people you brought, are they really completely obedient to you? Ji Yao, you're too childish, too stupid. You keep thinking that everything is under your control, but is it really under your control? Ji Yao snorted coldly, her expression ugly. Do you think they can escape? As soon as she said that, the people in the distance suddenly flew back quickly. In the next moment, the leader roared angrily, Leave quickly! The deputy temple master of Destiny Palace is here. Leave? Where do you think you're going? In the distance, a hearty laughter rose. In the next moment, a long spear shattered the void, a spear piercing through space and coming. Bang! A rank 9 powerhouse was directly blown up by this spear. Fang Ping's expression changed, saying slowly, first on the Divine General's ranking? The Catacombs Divine General's ranking, 100 people entered. The first person was from Destiny Royal Court. Destiny Royal Court's Destiny Palace's Temple Master was Ji Hong. The Deputy Temple Master was in charge of everything. The other party's ranking was even higher than Sky Plant's Royal Court's Right Divine General. It's me. The newcomer continued to laugh loudly. Before he arrived, his voice was heard. I heard that Guardian Zhang is about to become a true king. I'm eager to hunt. Guardian Zhang is known as the first person under the true king in the land of rebirth. I'm also known as the first person under the true king. How can I not come? Grandpa Huan Yu. At this moment, Ji Yao was also extremely happy. She was no longer as gloomy as before, shouting loudly, Ha ha, Yaoer, you didn't think it through. Some things are not that simple. In the next moment, a strong figure that shook the void appeared. Zhang Weiyu, Chen Yaozu, Wu Chuan, Wu Quishan. Ha ha ha, I'm still a little short. Before Li Zhen and Zhang Tao broke through, they could fight with me. The few of them aren't enough. As soon as the old man appeared, his long spear was like a swimming dragon. Of the 4 people who escaped earlier, 1 was killed with a single shot just now. The other 3, were also roaring furiously, wanting to escape. However, the old man covered 1,000 meters with a single step. His speed was frightening. In the blink of an eye, he appeared behind one of them and stabbed with his spear. Rumble! The golden body exploded, blood splattering everywhere. You haven't even stepped into divine path. Can you escape from me? The old man's aura was ostentatious. He glanced at Fang Ping, then at Ji Nan, saying mildly, Ji Nan, killing a martial artist who just entered divine path is so difficult. If the Ji family wants to produce another true king, I'm afraid we can't count on you anymore. Ji Nan's expression was pale. Without saying much, she said in a muffled voice, Greetings, Temple Master. Spare the pleasantries. Kill these useless people. The old man's figure moved again. In the next moment, he suddenly appeared in front of another person. With a sweep of his spear, the other person was directly cut into two. A shrill cry resounded through the sky. The King Lord asked me to come take a look. I didn't expect an accident to really happen. Young people are not reliable after all. The old man let out a long laugh again. In a short period of time, the old man killed 3 rank 9 powerhouses in an instant. The first person below, the true king. There were countless rank 9s in the catacombs. He was at the top of the divine general ranking. Heavenly Plant's royal court had 3 commanders-in-chief. Destiny Royal Court, he alone was enough. In the past, when the 2 royal courts were at war, the old man alone suppressed 3 powerhouses. The left and right divine generals had suffered great losses in the hands of the old man. Today, Ji Yao entered the territory. Ji Hong was worried, so he let the old man accompany her. That was why he had the invincible power now. At the same time, in the direction of Devil City, Zhang Weiyu and Chen Yaozu's expressions changed suddenly, looking far north. Who's here? It's him. Destiny Royal Court's Qi Huanyu. He's here too. Both of them looked at each other. Wu Chuan and Wu Quishan were at a loss. They did not know him. Who was it? They mainly dealt with Heavenly Plant's royal court. They really did not know this person. In the next moment, Wu Quishan suddenly said, the first person on the divine general ranking, a rank 9 king? Yes, the only one. The catacombs had a strict hierarchy. Other than true kings and lords, no one could be called a king. They were different from humans, and this person was the only king who was not a true king. Strictly speaking, his position was comparable to Li Zhan's in Sino Nation. He advocated war. He commanded the Destiny Royal Court Army. At this moment, Chen Yaozu suddenly said with a mixture of joy and sorrow, What a pity, what a pity! Unfortunately, he was already at the end of his rope and had no more strength to fight. However, in a battle between such powerhouses, if he lost, he would die. If he won, the pinnacle was in the bag. This was a powerhouse who had truly reached the pinnacle of the origin Tao, so pinnacle that he could not go any further. He was an invincible rank 9, no one could defeat him. He was a peerless powerhouse who lacked the strength to enter true king realm. What a pity! At this moment, he was at the end of his rope. Zhang Weiyu's expression changed. He suddenly growled, Fight him once. If he lost, he would die. If he won, he would reach the pinnacle. Wu Quishan scolded angrily, Kill all these bastards first before talking nonsense. Can't you guys be more reliable? Was it the right time to be excited at the sight of a hunter? He was about to explode. Of the 12 rank 9s who were left earlier, there were only 8 left now. The few of them were almost crippled. Stupid teammate. Wu Quishan cursed in his heart. I have never met a reliable teammate. Chapter 838. In the north. As soon as the old man appeared, He killed 3 rank 9s in an instant with invincible momentum. The rank 9s who were fighting below were not in the mood to fight anymore. They roared and unleashed their ultimate moves, trying to shake off their opponents. However, their opponents were all from the Heavenly Mandate Legion. At this moment, the true leader of the Heaven's Mandate Army had arrived. The people Ji Yao brought also went crazy. Ji Hong didn't care about anything. The imperial court battle was led by the old man. He was the true number 1 person in the military. Once the old man arrived, how could the others let their opponents go at this moment? All of them fought with all their might. On the other hand, Fang Ping's expression was grave. This was going to be troublesome. As soon as this person arrived, his only thought was, oh well, Zhang's doppelganger definitely couldn't kill this person. What a pity, what a pity. The old man strode, leisurely, spear in hand, chasing after the last escaping powerhouse. He sighed and said, this old man wanted to go to the Heaven Plant Royal Court and find Zhao Xingwu and Gu Yu to fight. I didn't expect Gu Yu to be in seclusion and Zhao Xingwu to be unwilling to help. Compared to these two, the others are still lacking. As for Zhang Weiyu, he's much weaker. The old man was very arrogant. In his eyes, even if Zhang Weiyu and the other 3 joined forces, they would only be able to fight him. As for Zhao Xingwu and Gu Yu, although they might not be as famous as Zhang Weiyu, their strength should be stronger than him. However, Gu Yu was in seclusion, and it seemed like he was preparing to advance to the true king realm. As for Zhao Xingwu, the martial artist from the land of rebirth, he was currently lying low and unwilling to make a move. The other party was the commander of the left wing of the Tianji army. If he forcefully made a move, that would be challenging the Tianji royal court. As for you, Fang Ping, right? The old man completely ignored the 9th pin, who was trying to escape. The heart of the long spear moved at will, and with a casual strike, the opponent stopped in his tracks. As if he was teasing a child, the old man stabbed his spear casually without any technique, but the opponent had no way to escape. Fang Ping, cooperation must be built on the basis of strength. You don't have the strength, and you only know how to scheme and scheme. I don't want this kind of cooperation. After saying that, the old man pierced the last person's head with his spear. The other party didn't show any signs of exploding. His aura was directly extinguished, and he fell to the ground. The old man came walking on air. He did not even look at the battles in other places. He landed 100 meters away from Fang Ping, looked at him, and said coolly, "You are not qualified. I don't know why Yao chose to cooperate with you. Perhaps you are related to true King Resurrection, but so what? With the Destiny Royal Court's strength, there was no need for a middleman to cooperate with true Monarch Rebirth. King Wu, are we cooperating or not?" As soon as he said that, the crystal book in Fang Ping's arms trembled slightly. After a while, someone smiled faintly. "Qi Huanyu? Not dead yet. How long had the old man lived? I'm afraid you won't be able to become a true monarch in this lifetime. Who knows?" The old man smiled faintly. "The day the Heaven Fate Royal Court devours the world and unifies the God continent will probably be the day I become a true king. At that time, is King Wu willing to fight? You want to fight me? You're no good. You're too weak. You're not worthy of my attention. On the day my longevity sword advances to the 9th grade quintessence Tao, I will be able to fight you. Longevity sword." The old man suddenly turned his head and looked into the distance. There was an armored warrior there, his sword cutting through the void and killing countless people. He was extremely powerful. Not weak. When he enters the quintessence Tao, he can indeed fight me. I didn't expect that the land of rebirth would have such a genius. "Qi Huanyu, you want to join the battle?" Zhang Tao's voice came again. The old man stared at Fang Ping's arms for a while before saying, "Interesting. King Wu is indeed powerful. Your clone is a little problematic. Is it all of them, or this one? Are you watching the battle after you opened the resurrection passage?" "Not really. You're here. I was just stimulated and revived." "I see." The old man smiled, faintly. "Yao, or wants to kill King 100 Mountain. King 100 Mountain is indeed troublesome. King Wu, are you interested?" "Yes, but you'll have to pay the price." "Please speak, King Wu. Kill all the rank 9 god continent in the region. That's all." "Of course. Force Zhang Weiyu, and the rest to help them reach the top." "King Wu, aren't you afraid that I'll kill them?" "If they die, you die. Everyone in the Ji family will die, even a life king. This is what I have to say. Qi Huanyu, what do you think?" The old man's expression changed, slightly. He said in a low voice, "King Wu is strong, but you're still not strong enough to kill Lord Life King. You're just a frog in a well. How dare you talk to me about this? You, Qi Huanyu, are invincible among rank 9. That's just a title you gave yourself. We didn't have a battle back then. Otherwise, I'll fight 1 against 3 martial artists like you." "Ha ha." The old man sneered. Zhang Tao said indifferently, "Fang Ping, kill this old thing the day you step into rank 9. He's a good whetstone for you, Li Changsheng, and even Wang Jinyang, and the rest. Of course, if you kill him, then he won't be able to whetstone anymore. Do whatever you want. This person's origin is broad. It's a line away from 1,000 meters. Unfortunately, he still can't break away from the secular world. If the Life King doesn't die, it'll be hard for him to become a true king. Don't bother about him." Fang Ping, on the other hand, looked dazed. "Minister, this was not a problem with the procedure." Old Zhang seemed to be able to connect with his main body. "It's just a small trick." Zhang Tao did not say much. He felt a little helpless and a little regretful. This avatar was not prepared for Qi Huanyu. It was prepared for the old man in the bounded domain. It was special, but the price was not small. Now that Qi Huanyu had appeared, his strength was powerful, and the avatar was stimulated and revived. In this way, it was about to dissipate. Zhang Tao did not continue this topic. He said again, "Ask the others to stop. Leave everyone to Qi Huanyu. As a price, King 100 Mountain can be killed. However, I need your cooperation. The Ji family is ambitious. They actually want to have 3 or even 4 true kings. The Life King's ability is not good, but his ambition is big." Zhang Tao laughed indifferently. The Ji family wanted to kill King 100 Mountain, not just because of Ji Yao. It was the entire Ji family. It seemed like the Ji family wanted to get rid of these unstable factors before dealing with the 2 kings. Once King 100 Mountain was dead, the Life King would have enough energy to deal with the 2 kings. That was good. If they did not kill King 100 Mountain, the Life King might not go all out. That old thing was also very cunning. While the 2 of them were talking, Qi Huanyu's expression changed again and again. After a while, he said, "All the true kings know that I've entered the domain. If I kill these people, I'm afraid the true kings will suspect me. Useless. Just fight the true kings. If you don't die, you also have a chance to become a true king. If you become a true king, you can either kill the Life King, fight the other true kings, or wait for the Destiny Royal Court to unify the catacombs. As the commander-in-chief, you have a chance to advance. In my opinion, fighting the true kings is your best chance. For example, you can fight a weakling like King Huai. What are you afraid of?" Zhang Tao said playfully. "Otherwise, you will die at the hands of humans sooner or later, unless you don't want to be enemies with humans for the rest of your life. Qi Huanyu, think about it. I'll enter the domain in half an hour. I'll settle everything in half an hour." As soon as he finished speaking, the crystal book in Fang Ping's arms suddenly shattered. Fang Ping's expression changed, and he quietly took a step back. Damn it! Old Zhang was not reliable. The avatar was shattered. This old man was a little too strong. Old Zhang despised King Huai very much, but he was a little serious about this old man. Moreover, he did not deny the other party's words. Zhang Weiyu and the rest were not his match. Only Old Man Li had a chance to fight the other party when he stepped into the origin path. However, if Old Man Li entered the origin path, he might advance with 200,000 calories vitality, golden body ninth refinement. After advancing, it was very likely that he would reach this number. Moreover, Old Man Li's vitality strength was high to begin, with double that of the rest. When that time came, even if he did not take many steps into the origin path, it would be comparable to a normal rank 9's 400,000 calories vitality. Only a powerhouse like this could fight this old man. Did that not mean that this Qi Huanyu's basic vitality was at least 200,000 calories, and his strength was doubled, which was almost at the peak, so he could also reach 400,000 calories vitality destruction? No wonder killing rank 9 was so easy. How could those martial artists with less than 100,000 calories vitality be his match? Zhang Weiyu and the rest should be quite a distance away from him, right? But this guy actually didn't become a true king. Thoughts rose in Fang Ping's mind. This time, 7 Southern Territory was really full of surprises. Even an old antique like this had appeared. Judging from Old Zhang's tone, this guy's qualifications might not be inferior to some true kings. At this moment, Qi Huanyu suddenly attacked. His target was none other than Fang Ping. Fang Ping moved his feet. A Chongdao in his hand appeared, and he slashed a void rift. However, the rift was pierced directly by the other party, and the other party's long spear appeared on Fang Ping's forehead in the next moment. You've become a divine general, and you dare to say that you can fight me? Qi Huanyu looked indifferent, shaking his head lightly. Martial King has overestimated you. Even that longevity sword might not be able to do it. I'm looking forward to being invincible in the divine general realm. It's too lonely. Fang Ping cursed in his heart. What was he pretending to be? This was a catacombs powerhouse. If it was a human, Fang Ping would have to tell him that he was only 20 years old. He would not reach the peak, even if he lived until he was an old tortoise. He was a good-for-nothing, invincible divine general, Old Zhang, and the rest were invincible true kings. The gap between both parties was huge. They could kill you with a single breath, and you still had the cheek to complain? He had even become a true king and challenged Old Zhang. Fang Ping had no doubt that even if this fellow had become a true king and met Old Zhang, 30 punches would be enough to kill him if he could not kill him in 3 punches. Was he still arrogant? Qi Huanyu chuckled. The long spear disappeared, no longer bothering about Fang Ping. He looked at the people who were still fighting and said lightly, "Kill them. I'll go somewhere else to take a look. Before I come back, I don't want to see these people still alive." After saying that, the fellow disappeared in the blink of an eye. Fang Ping's expression changed. He glanced at Ji Yao, who was a little smug, and did not say anything. He sneered in his heart. Idiot! At the same time, at the passageway entrance, Zhang Tao's mentality fluctuated violently. In the next moment, a cat's head appeared on the other side of the passageway. The cat had a few more skewers on its paws. As it ate, it asked, "What's your name? Why did you call me?" Zhang Tao brushed past it with his mentality, feeling slightly helpless. This time, Fang Ping and the rest could only wait to cry. All the rank 9 monsters were eaten, gone. This cat followed the people who were fighting. Almost all the rank 9 monsters that fell down were eaten by it. Fong Ping wanted to retrieve the spoils of war after this. Dream on. However, this cat ate a lot and was agile in its work. Other things aside, stabbing 12 rank 9s to death was a great achievement. Old Zhang comforted himself in his heart. Soon, his mentality fluctuated. A powerhouse has entered. Can you sense it? I can sense it. Do you want to stab him to death? He's not a true god. Not for now. Qi Huanyu was the commander-in-chief of the Destiny Royal Court. Killing him would mean a complete fallout with the Destiny Royal Court. The other party was not as important as the true king. The key was that he was a member of the Ji family. If he killed the king of 100 Hills, the Ji family would not seek revenge. At most, they would shout a few words. However, if he killed Qi Huanyu, even the Life King would seek revenge. That fellow was the Life King's eldest disciple. Old Zhang had suspected that he was the Life King's illegitimate son. The probability was not small, although he did not know why the catacomb's true king did not admit it. If he killed him, it would easily cause big trouble. However, Old Zhang still said quickly, "Keep an eye on him. If he attacks humans, you stab him to death." The cat tilted its big head and mumbled, "I'll keep an eye on him if you want me to. I'm not doing it anymore." Old Zhang said hurriedly, "Cat food. You owe me 70 bags. I want to taste it first. I'm not doing it now." "You can't stab him to death, can you? You're the one who can't stab him to death." The cat was instantly displeased. It shook its big head and explained, "You may be strong, but you have no idea how powerful I am. Back then, I stabbed a few true gods to death. Forget it. You won't know who I am even if I tell you." At this point, the cat suddenly said, "Oh, right, that guy. There was someone in armor, just now. I think he looked familiar. Who did you guys dig out?" Zhang Tao's heart skipped a beat. He smiled. "You know him? You're not lying? He was the one back then. You're talking nonsense. I just don't really remember. I'm a little groggy from sleeping. Anyway, I think he looks familiar. That armor. It looks like..." "What? Emperor armor? It's more or less the same." "That's it." The cat shook its head again. It was still groggy from sleep. It had lived for too long and slept for too long. It had slept for 1,000 years and had long forgotten a lot of the past. It had almost forgotten the people and things that it was not familiar with. The cat continued. "Emperor armor, God destroyer spear, God of war bow, heavenly king seal, heaven crushing sword. I think I've seen a few divine weapons before. I have them too, but I won't show them to you. That guy, you said I don't know, but I know." Zhang Tao's heart skipped a beat. He smiled. "Are divine weapons very strong? No matter how strong they are, they can't be stronger than others. You're very strong. That's why you don't care. But other true gods aren't as strong as you. Even if you're strong, you don't have divine weapons. You can get stronger if you get them. What does the Heavenly King seal look like?" Old Zhang suddenly asked. "What does it look like?" The cat fell into memory and mumbled, "Who remembers? It can't be eaten. It's only when I see it that it looks familiar. Also, don't try to trick me. I won't tell you." "All right, is the cat food delicious?" "Delicious." Old Zhang was tired. They were talking business. "Don't think about cat food. Help me keep an eye on that guy. Also, I'm going to mount Imperial Sea later." "Oh, right. Do you like to eat imperishable substances?" "Imperishable substances. Tastes average. Gong Juanzi's body is soaking in the grotto heaven. It can't be eaten. Disgusting." Old Zhang was speechless again. Disgusting? All right. He found out something else. It was really soaking in the bodies of those old antiques. It seemed like those old antiques had not recovered yet. Does mentality eat it? That guy, I don't eat humans. Why do you keep asking this? The cat was unhappy. It did not really eat these things. They were tasteless and human. Disgusting. I don't eat them. I'm not a big dog that eats everything. Old Zhang felt slightly regretful. That kid Fong Ping could not hook up with this cat. It was not easy to meet a dumb cat, and it was a glutton. If it ate those things and let Fong Ping feed it, he might be able to hook it up. What a pity! Regret aside, old Zhang said again, forget it if you don't like it. There are many delicacies among humans now. I'll let you try them when you're free. Also, my name is Zhang Tao. You can call me by my name. One last question. If you don't mind, can you tell me? What? Purple Cap Mountain's unquestionable sword. You know him? You know Xiaojin too? On the other side of the passageway, the cat suddenly said excitedly, You know him too? Xiaojin is great. He used to fish for me to eat. Too bad, he left later and didn't fish for me to eat anymore. Left? Where did he go? I don't know. Gong Juanzi said. He appeared later and then ran away. But I was sleeping then. I didn't know he came back. He came out and ran away? You mean the battle in the King Battleground? The King Battleground? What King Battleground? I don't know. Anyway, he came out, but he didn't come to see me. He didn't bring me food either. I'll ignore him the next time I see him. I even gave him the Sky Destroyer sword. I won't give him anything good next time. Sky Destroyer sword. Old Zhang's expression changed again. This cat gave a weapon to the Demon Emperor. What was this cat's background? From its tone, this divine weapon was probably a weapon of the impasse realm. How could it give it to someone just like that? This cat also had a divine weapon of its own. Old Zhang wanted to ask more, but the cat became impatient. You have so many questions. So annoying. Forget it. I'll help you keep an eye on that newcomer. The next time you call me, you have to give me cat food first. Oh, right. Remember to tell Xiaojian when you meet him. The road is blocked and can't be broken. Don't open up new paths for fun. It's useless. In the end, there will be too many and it'll be messy. Zhang Tao's heart was in turmoil. The road was blocked. Origin path. Don't open up new paths for fun. Play. If there were too many paths, it would be messy. Does this mean that opening up more paths really isn't feasible? I only have one thought now. At this moment, a thought suddenly appeared in old Zhang's mind. I want to catch this cat. A living fossil. It knows everything. That so annoying, I'm leaving. The cat couldn't be bothered to listen to what he said. It was especially annoying. It kept asking until his head was swelling. I've already said that I'm asleep and forgot. Why are you still asking? Gong Juanzi doesn't even ask, but you keep asking. We're not even close. If not for the fact that I want to try cat food, I'll give you a cat tail. It ran away. Old Zhang took a deep breath. Sky-crushing sword, the arch armor, heavenly king seal. Heavenly king seal. He subconsciously glanced at Wang Jinyang and Yao Qingjun behind him. Were they using the god of war, Bao, and the god crasher? He didn't think that they were particularly powerful. To him, they were just top-notch 9th grade divine weapons. However, it seemed that he had underestimated these divine weapons. Perhaps there was a special seal on them. At the same time, Qi Huanyu, who had arrived at Zhang Weiyu's battlefield, suddenly felt a chill down his spine. It seemed like someone was watching him. He could vaguely feel it. Who was watching him? A martial king? No. A martial king would not be such a big threat to him if he had not attained the domain. About 1,000 meters behind him, the cat was eating skewers and mumbling, My path has been taken. I can't go on anymore. Who did it? It's so bad. Why should I take someone else's path? However, he left first. If I poke the one who took his path to death, I can continue walking. Otherwise, I can only change paths. It's so difficult to change paths. The cat commented and forgot about it. Who cares? I'm not the one who left. Forget it. I won't care about him. Then he looked at Chun Yaozu and the rest, who were extremely vigilant, and continued to mumble, "This won't do. I don't have enough essence, qi, and spirit. I won't be able to walk to the end. Unless what should I do?" The cat seemed to have forgotten about it again. He stared at the big sun in the sky and suddenly remembered, "Unless I use the essence, qi, and spirit of a true god to replenish it. Yes, I remember now. Poke a true god to death. The essence, qi, and spirit will overflow. They can be stimulated." The gray cat finally remembered. These few seemed to be unable to go on. They had used up everything. If this went on, not only would they fail this time, they would also fail the next time. One failure. The first time was also the time when they had the greatest chance. The next time, the path might shrink and collapse. I have to poke a true god to death. That person is so stupid. It's useless to be stimulated by a fake god. The cat continued to mumble. These people were really boring. Fighting back and forth, it would be a waste of time. Ignoring these people, the cat looked in the direction of Mount Yuhai. Was that person going to fight there? But no one there could beat him. It was boring. Did that person want to poke a true god to death to replenish their energy? After thinking for a long time, the cat continued to eat and looked at the big sun again. Did this cat forget something? Waiting for cat food, waiting for the big dog, waiting for a show. What else was there? I forgot. At the same time, in the bounded domain, the phantom was trembling violently. Cat. Gong Juanzi was going crazy. Where was the cat? If it didn't come back, the boundary wall would collapse. He had to seal the boundary wall immediately. This stupid cat, is it asleep? No way. Gong Juanzi was about to collapse. He went out to find some food. With the cat's strength, he could easily get some food back. But where was the cat now? Once the boundary wall was sealed, it could not be opened again. If it was opened again, it would collapse. The phantom trembled incessantly. If the cat didn't come back in the time it took to drink a cup of tea, then he was afraid that he would lose this cat this time. It should be back soon. It should be soon. It just woke up not long ago. It won't sleep again so soon. Gong Juanzi comforted himself for a while. It had only slept for so many years. How could it fall asleep right after going out? At this time, it should be full of energy. As for the cat, it was indeed full of energy, but its memory was not very good. At this moment, the cat didn't remember going back at all. There were too many things to do. It had to watch, wait for the dog, and wait for that person to pay it. It was very busy. How could it remember to return to the grotto heaven? Chapter 839. While Gong Juanzi was still waiting for the cat to return, Fong Ping was watching Jinan and the others fight with an indifferent expression. Qi Huanyu had killed 4 of the 8 people. The remaining people also began to be killed one after another. However, these people were not weaklings. They knew that they would definitely die this time. At the moment of death, 4 of them self-destructed. One of the god generals under Ji Yao's command was directly blown to pieces by the 2 of them. Less than 3 minutes. There were only 7 humans and 1 demon left. Fong Ping, Ji Yao, Jinan, the 4 elemental path powerhouses, and the Phoenix Sparrow. 5 rank 9s. Before this, there were 53 rank 9 martial artists here. Within a short period of time, 48 rank 9 powerhouses had died. Fong Ping smiled faintly. What a great show! There were more than 100 rank 9s who entered the domain. Almost 50 rank 9s died in the infighting here alone, which was comparable to the total number of rank 9s in Sino Nation. This was the catacombs. The success of a general rests on the bones of 10,000. In order to become a king, Ji Yao and the Ji family wanted to ensure that the third generation of the Ji family would become the next king. They were extremely ruthless. Perhaps in their eyes, all of this was nothing more than a game. Fang Ping was watching the show. After Ji Nen killed the crazy powerhouse who used his fists, she frowned slightly. Suddenly, she looked at Fang Ping and said coldly, "Did you discover the flaw in his Shinto?" He felt that something was amiss. The powerhouse who used his fists had only just entered the origin Tao. After fighting Fang Ping, he had no intention of retreating and fought him to the death. He was incomparably crazy. Even if he was killed in the end, he would still be in a frenzied state. Fang Ping said indifferently, "So, what if I am? So what if it wasn't? Jinan, don't look down on me. You don't have the right." Qi Huanyu said that I wasn't qualified to cooperate with him, but the old tortoise had lived for a long time, so I didn't argue with him. He did have the strength to look down on me. "You are not qualified." Ji Nan's expression darkened. She said coldly, "Fang Ping, you're too arrogant. You might possess Deity Tao realm strength, but you forgot Deity Tao realm is also divided into strong and weak." Fang Ping snorted disdainfully and sneered, "Try me. I can't be bothered to waste my energy on you. If you don't believe me, you can try. Let's see who will die in the end. Do you really think I only know how to hit you with my fists? Idiot!" Fang Ping's expression was one of savagery and contempt. Yes, Ji Nan was very strong. The experts on the divine general ranking had walked at least 500 meters on the origin Tao. So what? An increase of 0. 5 times. The basic energy was not weak. After all, he was a member of a true king family. It was equivalent to a vitality of 140,000 calories. After the increase, his vitality strength was 210,000 calories. However, when Jinan made her move, Fang Ping could see that her control of her strength was about 75%. Her destructive power was about 150,000 calories vitality. Being able to break through space meant that he was one of the top-notch ones in the origin Tao. But that was all. At this moment, the humans of the 7 southern regions had gained the upper hand, except for Qi Huanyu, who was a variable. However, would that variable dare to make a move at this time? Fang Ping had no doubt that once he laid his hands on a human, Zhang Tao would definitely enter the territory to kill him. Although there were a few other god generals here, Fang Ping was not afraid at all. He said indifferently, "Don't act all high and mighty in front of me. If the Ji family wants to cooperate, then you'd better behave. If the Destiny Royal Court wasn't strong enough, they wouldn't be able to think about such nonsense. The humans are one of the strongest, while heaven plants, heaven fate, and the demon folk are the weakest. Everyone knows that heaven fate is the weakest." Fang Ping was really arrogant. The arrogant Ji Nan's expression was gloomy. Ji Yao's expression was also ugly. She said coldly, "Fang Ping, don't forget that I saved you this time." Fang Ping chuckled. "I didn't forget, but it's not like you don't have a purpose. Everyone has a common interest. Do you really think we're on the same side? What a joke. Ji Yao, you have no right to be arrogant in front of me. I don't care if your father or grandfather is a true king powerhouse or not. I don't care. Your father and grandfather don't dare to make a move against me. If they do, King Wu will definitely kill them. If you don't believe me, you can try." Fang Ping was bluffing. He admired old Zhang now. He was incomparably powerful. It should not be difficult for him to suppress a life king. Although he had quarreled with old Zhang previously, Fang Ping felt that he could recognize him as a godfather when he returned. He wanted to find a strong backer. War King could not do. War King could not defeat Life Kings. It would be a little stressful to fight two normal true kings. This backer was not strong enough. It was better to find old Zhang. Ji Yao snorted softly and said coldly, "I'm afraid King Wu is still not King Ancestor's opponent. Fang Ping, don't be arrogant." Fang Ping scorned. "What do you know?" The strength that Zhang Tao displayed was about the same as Li Zhan, slightly weaker than Life King. However, Fang Ping felt that old Zhang was probably not weaker than Heavenly King Suppression. Life King would definitely not be his opponent. He was too lazy to talk about this. Fang Ping glanced at the battlefield less than 30 li away and said, "Let's go." Silence them. Some of those fellows ran away. You guys will be in trouble too. The people over there saw the commotion just now. The distance was so close. The powerhouses who were escaping over there had already started to turn and run. They had indeed sensed the situation over here. At this moment, they were all stunned. The fear in their hearts could not be any greater. Sky Plant's royal court and the Land of Rebirth were collaborating. Even if there were a few Sky Plant's royal court powerhouses in the crowd, they did not dare to come over at this moment. They had no doubt that the Ji family would attack them if they saw them. These people were currently escaping from Li Changsheng and the rest while guarding against Jinan and the rest. For a moment, they felt that there was no way out. However, Jinan's expression was gloomy. She said slowly, "It's not appropriate for us to attack in front of them. Also, you martial artists from the Land of Rebirth. Some of them are connected to Divine Land. Fang Ping, once this matter is exposed, the Land of Rebirth will only face the full attack of the Destiny Royal Court." Ji Yao said coldly, "Fang Ping, some people from the Land of Rebirth should be killed. If the news is leaked, the Ji family will just kill some god generals. It's not a big deal. However, in order to wash away everything, the royal court will only go all out and attack the Land of Rebirth. Think carefully." Fang Ping raised his eyebrows slightly. He said lightly, "Humans are more reliable than you guys." Although he said that, Fang Ping still glanced at the powerhouses from the 5 sacred lands further away. He did not really understand these people. However, if it was leaked, then so be it. Fang Ping did not care about this. Jinan and the rest were ruthless, but Life King was not an idiot. If they really attacked the humans with all their strength, the Sky Plant's royal court would be more than happy to watch a show. With the personalities of these true kings, would they go all out and let others take advantage of them? The catacombs were extremely powerful. After so many years, it was still difficult to reach an agreement. The true kings looked at each other. The Sky Plant's royal court was afraid that the Destiny Royal Court would take advantage of them. Similarly, the Destiny Royal Court was the same. The weak true kings did not dare to participate in the battle, afraid that they would die. The powerful true kings were also full of misgivings, afraid that they would be targeted by human powerhouses and take a few with them before they died. If it was not because the Seed of Rebirth seemed to have a huge attraction for these people, Fang Ping suspected that the catacombs would have lost their fighting spirit long ago. Fang Ping did not care about Ji Yao and Jinan's threats. He did not bother to say anything more. He soared into the sky and rushed into the distance. Kill all these people first. As soon as he left, Jinan glanced at Ji Yao, her gaze a little strange. Previously, Ji Yao said that she wanted to capture Fang Ping alive. However, not only was it not that, but there was also cooperation. Even Qi Huanyu was here, acting in the dark. Perhaps this was not just Ji Yao's idea. Nurturing a tiger brings disaster. Jinan suddenly said, Today, there was originally a chance to kill a large number of resurrected powerhouses. In the end, it turned out to be a large number of divine land powerhouses dying, and it was caused by the Ji family. Ji Nen still felt that something was wrong. Ji Yao said coldly, "Uncle Wang, we can't kill him. You saw it. King Wu's clone has always been on him. There were even powerhouses who wanted to kill him. His killing intent was too strong, so his clone was awakened. King Wu is already prepared to enter the domain. Once we kill him, we will all die. King Wu no longer cares about the rules. He has already seen through Divine Land. Divine Land does not dare to fight with all its might now. It's all chaos." Ji Yao took a deep breath and said slowly, "There are hundreds of true kings in Divine Land. Do they have the ability to defeat the Land of Rebirth? Yes. However, the four majestic chambers of Divine Land are scheming and deceiving each other. No one trusts anyone else. Actually, from Yao Er's point of view, if the two kings still had their previous strength and prestige, they could walk out of the Land of Kings battleground, unify Divine Land, and join forces with the four majestic chambers to defeat the Land of Rebirth quickly. However, Uncle Wang saw it. This is impossible. Therefore, although Divine Land has the ability to defeat the resurrected martial artists, it is looking forward and backward. Under such circumstances, how can we fight the Land of Rebirth? At this time, the only thing we can do is to strengthen ourselves and let the majestic chambers and Divine Land be unified. When that time comes, the Land of Rebirth will not become a disaster." Ji Yao saw it very clearly now. The catacombs were very powerful. It was not a problem to defeat humans. However, the powerful catacombs were divided into many forces. There was no powerhouse who could stand up and convince the four sides to surrender. How could a divine land like this fight the Land of Rebirth? There were endless internal troubles. Only by solving these internal troubles could they better deal with the Land of Rebirth. At this time, they needed a powerhouse who had great strength and prestige and could suppress everyone to stand up. Life King wanted to be this person. There were many who wanted to. However, the Ji family had high hopes, at least for now. In the catacombs, Life King, the true king hall master of the Destiny Royal Court, was one of the most powerful people on the surface. Without King Qian and Lord Demon, Life King was currently the strongest in the entire Divine Land. Once he gained something in the Land of Kings battleground, he would be able to fulfill everyone's expectations and truly unify Divine Land. Ji Nan did not speak after hearing that. Since things had come to this, it was useless to say anything more. Since Life King and Ji Hong had agreed, what else could he say? He was just unhappy with Fang Ping's attitude. In the past, the resurrected martial artists were afraid that they would provoke the Destiny Royal Court and cause the Destiny Royal Court to join the war. However, after the Destiny Royal Court joined the war, the attitude of the Land of Rebirth toward them took a sharp turn. Not only did they not admit defeat, but they also became tougher. Once the war started, they would kill the Destiny Royal Court's people first. In a short time, the Destiny Royal Court had suffered heavy losses. It had already made the people in the Royal Court anxious. Some of them were questioning their previous decision to join the war. At this moment, after losing a true king, the Ji family began to seek cooperation again. Ji Nen felt a little upset. In the face of benefits, they could really abandon everything. What Ji Nan thought, what Ji Yao thought, was not important to Fang Ping. At this moment, Fang Ping had already arrived at the battlefield. When he saw Old Man Li in armor, killing everyone, Fang Ping was also envious. He shouted, "Teacher, give me the armor, I'll do it." Old Man Li ignored him. "I'm having a good time killing. Give it to you, dream on. Cut the crap, kill these guys." While Old Man Li was talking, Li Daong, Jiang Yuanhua, and the rest suddenly joined forces, sneakily attacking together, beheading a rank 9 powerhouse under his sword on the spot. Old man, Li's face was covered by the armor. His expression could not be seen, but he was obviously not too happy. He said angrily, "Also, why are you snatching my armor? It's not like it's gone. I've already used my sword, and you still snatch it." Everyone did not say anything, focusing on killing. "Is it yours just because you say so? Are the catacombs powerhouses yours? We must kill them." More than 30 rank 9 powerhouses, killing less than 10 rank 9s. At this moment, it was really a complete suppression. They could fight however they wanted. There were less than 10 catacombs powerhouses left. The monster Sunflower City Lord, who had been alive all this time, suddenly let out a wild laugh as he looked at the enemies on all sides. "Everyone, it's the end. The Destiny Royal Court has betrayed us, and the true kings have also abandoned us. Now that things have come to this, there's no way back. After so many obstacles, even if I cultivated to the divine general realm, I still can't escape death today. Let's self-destruct together. Even if we die, we must make them bleed." The monster Sunflower City Lord roared. At this moment, some of the rank 9s who were still alive were the strongest. The fact that they could survive, until now, was proof of their strength. At this moment, if they self-destructed together, they could also make the land of rebirth suffer a huge loss. He shouted for them to self-destruct together, but Fong Ping raised his eyebrows slightly. "What were you shouting for? Did you not know how to use mentality to transmit voice?" This fellow was still afraid of death, purposely scaring the humans. If he really wanted to self-destruct, he might as well transmit voice secretly and self-destruct together. Why did he have to shout so loudly? Needless to say, as soon as these words were said, among the catacombs martial artists, there were a few whose auras erupted, showing signs of self-destruction. Seeing this, Fong Ping suddenly roared, "Surrender! You have no way out. Surrender!" Other than the monster Sunflower City Lord and that giant eagle, the rest can be spared from death. As soon as these words were said, the few powerhouses who were about to self-destruct stopped breathing. When the monster Sunflower City Lord heard this, his face was filled with horror. He roared, "Don't believe them!" Fong Ping did not join the battle at this moment. He levitated and stood aside, smiling. "Why not? Zhao Xingwu can surrender to the catacombs. You can also surrender to the humans." Coincidentally, the 7 southern territories have been conquered. There are still tens of millions of catacombs humans alive. We also need an agent. It's the same for the 18 southern territories. These 2 major territories are now the humans' territories. If you surrender, you can be spared from death. Even if you live under someone else's roof and work for the humans, for you, this is the only way out. Is it worth it for you to work so hard for the catacombs' true king? All of you are powerhouses who have cultivated to rank 9 origin. Is it worth it to die after cultivating hard for hundreds of years? Even if you die, your death will not be worth it. After you die, how many people in the catacombs will remember you? Ridiculous. Die cowards. Why do we humans dare to die? Because even if we die in battle, countless people will remember that we once fought for the humans. How many people know about the catacombs? Fong Ping was still talking when Li Daong quickly transmitted his voice. "Fong Ping, this is inappropriate, right? The catacombs martial artists can't be trusted. When the time comes, we still have to prevent them from causing trouble." Fong Ping also transmitted his voice. "It's useful. Bring them to the other outer territories, leave 1 or 2, and kill the rest. There are still 8 rank 9 martial artists here. All of them are origin. Kill 5 or 6 of them. We don't need that many. The main reason is to strike at the confidence of the other territories. Fong Ping did not plan to leave so many powerhouses behind. These people were time bombs. However, leaving one or two of them and bringing them to other outer territories as examples would be very useful. If even rank 9 could surrender, what about the rest? When Zhao Xingwu entered the catacombs wanted to do the same, but Zhao Xingwu did not agree. The catacombs had other motives, so they did not force it in the end. However, these people did not agree. Fong Ping would not be polite. Monster Sunflower City's governor was even more frightened now. He roared, "If we surrender, the true king will not let us go. Everyone, not only us, our families, our clans will all be slaughtered by the true king." Fong Ping said lazily, "Monster Sunflower City's governor, you must die. Your hands are stained with the blood of humans. You must die. The rest can surrender. Some of them have never fought with humans in their entire lives. This is also their first time here. As for your families, clans, do as you see fit. I'll count to 10. If you don't surrender, I'll kill all of you. If you can, then self-destruct. Let's see if you can bring us along with you." 1. 8. Fong Ping counted from 1 to 8. In the crowd, many people's faces stiffened. "You might as well count to 3. The next moment, a middle-aged man suddenly shouted, "I admit defeat." As soon as he said that, Fong Ping was about to speak. Monster Sunflower City's governor and 100 Beasts Forest's giant eagles suddenly gave up on attacking the humans and suddenly attacked him together. One man and one demon, at this moment, were giving it their all. Rumble! With an explosive sound, the middle-aged man's golden body exploded. Monster Sunflower City's governor seemed to have gone mad. He laughed angrily. "Surrender? Either we die together, or we continue to kill to the end. You actually want to surrender to the land of rebirth. Dream on." At this stage of the fight, Fong Ping looked like he was going to kill him. He did not have any extravagant hopes. If they were to die, they would die together. The remaining 5 rank 9s were also resisting the humans' killing in a muffled voice. They did not speak anymore. Fong Ping raised his eyebrows slightly. He shouted, "Instructor, kill him. The rest of you, those who want to surrender, attack together and kill this beast. Whoever kills him will be considered to have done a good deed." As soon as he finished speaking, Fong Ping shouted again, "Separate them. Leave that giant eagle to me. I'll play with it." Fong Ping also had his eyes on the giant eagle. This fellow had attacked Zheng Tao earlier. He had said ruthlessly that he would completely destroy 100 Beasts Forest this time. The battle broke out again. Monster Sunflower City's governor was already heavily injured. At this moment, he was surrounded by everyone. Among the other 5 rank 9s, 2 of them chose to betray. No, 1 man and 1 demon. Fong Ping was surprised. That gopher and that monster Rat City's governor, these 2 fellows actually did not die. The gopher was still fine. It was an Origin Dao powerhouse. Previously, Fong Ping thought that all 8 of them were Origin Dao. Only now did he realize that monster Rat City's governor was actually still alive. This fellow was not Origin Dao. These 2 were also the first powerhouses to escape after fighting with Guo Shengquan. Undeniably, this person who was afraid of death really lived a little longer. This man and demon were both extremely afraid of death. Seeing that they could not survive, they turned around and began to attack Monster Sunflower City's governor. As for Fong Ping, he also faced the giant eagle alone. Li Daong and the rest supported him. At this stage of the battle, humans had already won a great victory. At this moment, it was time to leave some powerhouses for the others to practice. It was quite rare to meet such a powerhouse who gave you a chance to practice. Many people were itching to try it out. 5 minutes later, the battle here ended. 8 powerhouses. In the end, only 3 survived. 2 catacombs humans and a giant rat. The others were all dead. Seeing this scene, everyone was wild with joy. However, very soon, everyone remembered that there was still a battle that had not ended. Li Daong quickly arranged, "Leave a few people to guard these severely injured people. The rest go help old Chen, and the rest. A few more people go. Clean up the battlefield along the way and collect the human corpses." At this stage of the battle, this side was considered to have come to an end. However, humans were not unscathed. When the battle first broke out, there were also casualties among humans. Kong Lingyuan died in battle. Both Wang Qinghai and Zhang Tao fell at the beginning of the battle. No one knew if they were dead or alive. Along the way, Tianmu was also affected by someone's self-explosion and fell to the ground. No one knew what happened. Nan Yunping, who joined the battle later, had the weakest ability. She also fell earlier and was nowhere to be found. The Origin's realm was still fine. This time, the weaker rank, 9, almost all suffered heavy injuries. On the Jiao's side, out of so many demons that came with it, dozens of rank 7s and 8s died in battle. One rank 9 demon was missing. No one knew where it fell. The humans were still fine. But the demons, if they fell next to the cat, they might be made into skewers even if they were alive. This battle, the early stages were tough. The later stages were smooth. There were not too many losses. Fang Ping did not follow to clean up the battlefield. He was also not in a hurry to save Chen Yaozu and the rest. Before they left, Fang Ping quickly sent a voice transmission to Li Daong, "Arrange some people to go after Ji Yao and the rest. Just say it's an act. Don't take it seriously. If you can kill other origins, kill them. Jinan and Ji Yao can live." Fang Ping felt that he needed to kill Ji Yao and the rest. It was not good to have too many people alive. It was enough to kill a few and keep a few alive. The Ji family's strength should be weakened as much as possible. If the Ji family really unified the entire Destiny Royal Court, it would be a big problem. Having said that, Fang Ping said hurriedly, "Instructor, let's go kill that Qi Huanyu. This guy is very arrogant. If we can kill him, then kill him. If we can't, or if we kill him and suffer heavy losses, then let him go." After arranging for a while, Fang Ping did not go after Ji Yao and the rest. Instead, he flew toward the Devil City with everyone else. Chen Yaozu and the rest had been dealt with. The battle between non-peak powerhouses was considered to have come to an end. At the same time, outside the catacombs, Zhang Tao was still satisfied. This time, he was not forced to make a move. This was considered to be the most beneficial outcome for him. Zhang Tao, who had been sitting cross-legged, took a deep breath and got up slowly. The rank 9 battle was a great victory. It was almost time for him to make a move. After this battle, the catacombs would either completely unite against humans or give up on the idea of waging an all-out war with humans. They would shrink their front lines and give humans more breathing space. Depends on luck. Zhang Tao murmured. He could only depend on luck. This time, whether humans would have an easy or difficult time in the next 2 years depended on the outcome this time. The next moment, Zhang Tao stepped into the passageway. The passageway trembled. At the same time, Mount Royal Sea, the blockade set up by War King, and the rest was broken in an instant. King Wu had entered the domain. At this moment, War King and the rest no longer sealed off Mount Royal Sea, allowing the true kings to spy. If King Wu entered the domain and still concealed, then it would completely break all the rules. King Wu is here. Where are the other true kings? Come quickly. We haven't made a move yet. What is King Wu trying to do by entering the domain? Kill King Wu and Hades' king. These two people are incessant. They should have died a long time ago. One by one, the true king's mentality fluctuated. King Wu entering the domain now meant that a storm was brewing. As for the divine general's battlefield inside the 7 southern territories, not many people paid attention to it at this moment. They were all observing the passageway in Hope City. The passageway trembled. A top-notch powerhouse had passed through the passageway. The true kings were discussing. The next moment, Zhang Tao appeared in the 7 southern territories, his aura surging and mighty. The entire sky of the 7 southern territories seemed to darken. Only a figure outside the passageway shook heaven and earth. At his feet, the head of a big cat appeared. It looked up at Zhang Tao with an adorable expression. As if it had seen something, the big cat stopped eating and said in a daze, "Emperor?" An emperor had appeared in the human world? No, it wasn't. It wasn't an emperor. The destruction of humanity, the destruction of the great path. Meow. So savage. I'll die. The big cat shook its head and quickly fled. There was a guy who wanted to become an emperor. He wanted to open the way and gather all the paths of humanity into one. The destruction of all lives and the destruction of the great path. This was a ruthless person. It felt that it was safer to run far away. No wonder it always felt that this guy was a little too strong. Chapter 840. In the 7 southern regions, under the passage to Hope City, Zhang Tao stood proudly in the void, looking around and tilting his head to the west. He chuckled, his voice echoing for thousands of miles. The bounded domain trembled slightly and then completely sealed itself. In the grotto heaven of the bounded domain, Gong Juanzi's expression changed drastically. His figure trembled. Who? The strongest person in the human world. There is such a strong person rising in the human world. Unbelievable, unbelievable. At this moment, Gong Juanzi was no longer arrogant. A monster had appeared in the human world. In the direction of the demon city, Qi Huanyu's face was pale. He had lost his previous arrogance. He was not afraid of ordinary true monarchs. But Zhang Tao, no, he wasn't this strong in the past. At this moment, Qi Huanyu's forehead was drenched in cold sweat. King Wu was getting stronger. The enemy of the divine continent. At the same time, the Jiao tucked its tail. Arg! The Jiao was terrified. It had sensed Zhang Tao entering the territory once, but that day it was being chased by King Huai and did not pay much attention. But today it was too close to Zhang Tao, less than 50 miles away. As a demon, it was very sensitive to danger. At this moment, the Jiao was truly terrified. It felt like it could die at any moment. The Jiao slowly fell to the ground, its body shrinking. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. I'm with you. I'm so scared. If the Jiao was like that, the other demons, regardless of their grade, all fell to the ground. A 7th grade demon even fell directly to the ground, causing the earth to rumble. The 7 southern regions were silent. The strongest person had entered the territory. In the direction of Imperial Sea Mountain, King Feng, King Baishan, and King Hua stepped forward at the same time. The void trembled, and an overwhelming aura shattered the void above their heads. King Wu, since you're here, why don't you gather here? King Feng's expression was cold, and his words were like knives, causing the void to tremble again. Are you in such a hurry to die? Laughter reverberated in the air. In the blink of an eye, a figure strode through the air. Behind him, the black cracks would disappear and reappear. Fengji, do you think you're so great just because you walked out of 2 wasted paths? Zhang Tao stepped on the void and walked past Imperial Sea Mountain. Inside Imperial Sea Mountain, Thousands of demons were silent. Dense spatial cracks appeared in the sky, but they took a detour, not daring to invade. Ji Hong's face was solemn as he slowly took a step back. The Tiger King, who had just arrived, also had a gloomy expression as he transmitted his voice. Something's wrong. Something's wrong with the martial king today. The martial king of the past was not this powerful. Tiger King was frightened, and 100 Mountain King also quickly transmitted his voice. He hid his strength. This person's strength is formidable, and he has always been in seclusion. Today, he revealed it without a doubt. Why? Everyone, be careful. A martial king might be stronger than a battle king. Where's the fake king? Is King Qian coming? These monarchs all wore solemn expressions at this moment. 100 Mountain King, Maple King, Hua King, Bamboo King, Green Wolf King, Purple Radish King, Tiger King, White King, Pine King, Yang King, Earth Sunflower King, Ji Hong. At this moment, there were a total of 12 true kings gathered here. King Ping Shan had left. Otherwise, there would be as many as 13. On the other side, there were only 4 people. However, everyone's expression remained grave. 12 people against 4 people from before. However, today's martial kings seemed to be even stronger. The various kings transmitted their voices to one another. After that, their auras erupted forth with incomparable sharpness. The sky seemed to have darkened. At this moment, phantoms that pierced through heaven and earth appeared above everyone. The true kings had descended, and the heavens submitted to them. In the distance, countless people in the cities knelt on the ground. More than 10 true kings released their auras, shaking heaven and earth. In the blink of an eye, a few more phantoms rose from all directions. The true kings were quickly rushing over. The auras of King Feng and the others exploded, shattering the void. That meant that there was a great enemy. Experts from the 2 royal halls tore through the air and arrived. On the other side, Zhang Tao was full of smiles. He nodded slightly at the Battle King and Sword King and said with a chuckle, after watching a big show, "My hands are a little itchy. These fleas in the catacombs are annoying to jump around." The Battle King glanced at him, and his brows twitched slightly. This kid's aura is very strong today. After pretending to be weak for so many years, he's not going to pretend today? No. The Battle King suddenly frowned. This grandson has been pretending for so many years. Could it be that the aura he released now is not at its peak? He's just stronger, so he's showing more? It can't be. He broke through less than 20 years ago. How can he be so strong? While he was still thinking, Zhang Tao looked at the opposite side and said with a faint smile, "Not enough, not enough. Let's kill a few true kings today to liven things up." Zhang Tao, do you really think you're the subduing heavenly king? Even if you've walked the second great Tao. So what? King Feng shouted coldly, his face full of ice. The martial king was too arrogant. Noisy. You talk too much nonsense. A cold snort sounded in everyone's ears. In the blink of an eye, a phantom shattered the void and suddenly appeared in front of King Feng. Boom. A soundless explosion. There seemed to be the sound of thunder, but it was silent. A large area of space collapsed, and the giant stone platform where the true kings of the catacombs stood proudly disappeared without a trace. All the true kings stepped into the air. In front of the crowd, King Feng took a step back, and a huge black crack appeared under his feet. The phantom in front of him disappeared in a flash. In the next moment, Zhang Tao returned to his original position and stood beside the Battle King and the others. He said with a faint smile, "How sad, how lamentable. 2 great Daos like you, ridiculous and ignorant." Zhang Tao smiled and shook his head, sighing. 2 great Daos. Dual Dao true king? Is one great Tao not enough for trash like you? King Feng's expression was cold, and he said nothing. Under his feet, a drop of golden blood dripped and disappeared instantly. King Baishan, King Hua, and the others looked serious. With one blow, King Feng was at a disadvantage. Everyone was shocked. They were shocked that King Feng had really walked the second great Tao. They were shocked that King Feng, a dual Tao true king, suffered a great loss. Silence. None of the true kings made a move. Not enough. 12 people were not enough. King Feng could not stop King Feng. King Baishan might not be able to stop Battle King, and King Hua might not be a match for the Netherworld King. There was still Sword King on the other side. Once the battle started, 12 people might not be able to take them down, and they might not have the upper hand. Disbelief. The powerhouses of the Land of Rebirth and the veteran powerhouses were fine, but the newly promoted powerhouses, King Feng and the Netherworld King, seemed to be getting stronger. Zhang Tao sighed, then looked around, smiling. Gathered outside Mount Royal Sea, but afraid to make a move. 12 true kings, silent like cicadas in winter. This is the catacombs, even more ridiculous. Today, the humans have achieved a great victory, killing hundreds of rank 9s. Considering that you have contributed by delivering your heads to us, retreat quickly, and we will spare your lives. As soon as he said that, all the true king's expressions turned cold. Insult. The ultimate insult. The cold gleam in King Feng's eyes was like a sword piercing through the void. King Baishan, King Hua, and the others looked grim too. Although they did not look at each other, they could not tolerate it at this moment. The true King Rebirth had gone too far. Attack! A loud roar shattered the void. At this moment, even Ji Hong had attacked. 12 true kings attacked at the same time, and the space in front of them collapsed. In the next second, including Zhang Tao and the other 3, 16 powerhouses entered the Black Rift to fight. When 16 people entered the rift, it expanded instantly, as if a new world had opened up. Everyone had entered another space to fight. In the blink of an eye, it really was just the blink of an eye. King Huai flew out of the rift suddenly. His golden body cracked. A sword gleam erupted from his body, piercing through the sky. Within a radius of 10 miles, except for Mount Imperial Sea, that stood tall, the other places turned into black holes. The ground disappeared. Netherworld King. King Huai's face was livid. 12 true kings attacked, and he was the first to be defeated by the Netherworld King. His golden body cracked, and a sky-piercing sword slashed through his indestructible golden body. Trash, get lost! A cold roar came from the black space. The next moment, Zhang Tao suddenly shouted, "Today, we will kill these trash, break the catacombs, and fight for eternal peace." Kill. The 4 powerhouses' murderous intent shook the heavens. 11 true kings, including a few invincible powerhouses, were beaten back again and again. The Black Rift pushed forward along Mount Imperial Sea, annihilating everything in its path. The sky had long turned pitch black. Within a radius of 10,000 miles, there was only night at this moment. The sun could not be seen. In the Black Rift, Zhang Tao held a book in his left hand and a green bamboo trunk in his right. He chanted, and in the blink of an eye, the bamboo branch broke through the air and whipped King 100 Mountain. King 100 Mountain was surrounded by mountains. Unlike King Pingshan's mountain, King 100 Mountain's mountain was truly surrounded by hundreds of mountains. But in the blink of an eye, a mountain that seemed to reach into the sky was smashed by the bamboo branch, as if it was real. At this moment, a mountain collapsed, and a large number of boulders and rubble splashed out, flying in all directions. Rumble! The Black Rift became larger and larger, and everywhere it went, everything was destroyed. Outside the black space, King Huai was unwilling to give up and rushed into the black rift again. How could 12 true kings lose to the 4 human powerhouses? Outside Mount Imperial Sea, the top powerhouses broke through the space and entered another world to fight. But their auras still spread out, intimidating the world. At this moment, the 7 southern regions was like a dead zone. All the demons were trembling, lying on the ground, motionless. The pressure of too many powerhouses made everyone's hearts tremble. This was the peak. This was a true king. A true king had suppressed a region. There were 16 of them, and there were many powerhouses among the true kings participating in the battle. This was also the most shocking battle since the beginning of the new martial era. 90 years ago, when the new martial era began, a battle of dozens of true kings broke out among the 13 true kings of Suppressing City. 90 years later, the leader of the new martial era started a new battle. There were not many human powerhouses participating, but the momentum was even greater. Just when everyone was silent, the next moment, a piercing scream was heard. No. This roar spread throughout the world, the outer area, the inner area, Mount Imperial Sea, the Forbidden Sea, the entire cave seemed to have heard it. In the void, a shocking figure suddenly disappeared. A large amount of golden light bloomed, and the world was reflected in blood and gold. Black, blood, and gold alternated. The true king was destroyed. Earth Sunflower King. Some powerhouses roared, unwilling, shocked, incredulous, and unable to believe it. In less than a minute, 12 true kings had joined forces, but a true king had fallen. A true king's golden body was destroyed by a casual attack from Zhang Tao. Li Jun, who had followed, ignored King Hua's attack and destroyed everything with a single sword strike. A true king had fallen. Li Jun was injured, and his golden blood splattered in the darkness, illuminating the cracks in the darkness. A smile appeared on his cold face, killing a true king with one sword strike. The Netherworld King has stepped on 2 paths. Damn it! Another roar resounded through the clouds, and the world changed color. The Netherworld King had stepped on the 2nd path. The legend of the true king's immortality became a joke in the blink of an eye. 12 true kings had joined forces, but one was killed in an instant. Come quickly! King Fong and King 100 Mountains roared. There were more true kings nearby. Come quickly to help and eliminate the enemy. In the land of rebirth, there was a 2nd powerhouse who had stepped on 2 paths. Moreover, the strength of a martial king was so terrifying that it made people despair. One strike broke the true king's golden body. It was unbelievable. Even if the Earth Sunflower King's strength was average, he was still a true king powerhouse. He could block the cracks in space, and his golden body was indestructible. He was invincible, and now he was killed in an instant. At this moment, these true kings did not dare to hold back anymore. They did not dare to wait for others to help. They worked together. Only by working together could they survive this battle. The martial king had entered the domain to kill a true king. 7 southern territory. That blood-curdling scream scared everyone, including the Jiao and the other demons. The crippled earth mole actually peed in his pants. The rank 9 demon beast was trembling in fear. Its squeaking had just left its mouth when it was forcefully suppressed. Terrifying, the Jiao moved its huge head. Its limbs were weak. It forced itself to crawl to Fang Ping's side. It wanted comfort. Chef. Ask Chef to protect it. It was also scared to the point of peeing. The true king powerhouse was killed. After the Earth Sunflower King was killed, a powerful wave of energy swept across the land. A true king's vitality. Force might not be too strong. The powerhouses were not more than 1 million cal. However, at this moment, It was as if the Tao had collapsed. A large amount of energy overflowed from heaven and earth. Even in the seven southern territory, separated by Mount Royal Sea, Fong Ping felt the energy was more abundant. Thousands of miles away, darkness and light alternated. Fong Ping was also extremely shocked. Absolute peak. This was the absolute peak of a life and death battle. In this battle, people thousands of miles away could feel the pressure and the threat of death. Compared to this, the battle in the seven southern territory was not even worth mentioning. Beside his feet, the Jiao knocked its huge head against Fong Ping's leg. Scared, asking for comfort. The demons were more sensitive to this. They were really scared. Was that chef's ancestor? It seemed so strong that it made the demons despair. Absolute peak, Fong Ping murmured. At this moment, he suddenly felt an indescribable yearning and anticipation. This was humanity's stabilizing force. The four powerhouses attacked and took the initiative to fight many true kings. In a flash, they killed the catacombs' true king. The rank 9 demons were like children living in fear. At this moment, Qi Huanyu, who had also landed not far away, suddenly felt that he was nothing. Invincible rank 9? The absolute peak was also rank 9. Who dared to call themselves invincible rank 9? Even a true king could fall. What was Qi Huanyu? Fong Ping was still deep in thought when a hole silently opened up beside him. A furry paw touched the Jiao's head. The Jiao did not feel comforted at this moment, only infinite fear. Scared the hell out of the demon. Scared the hell out of the demon. What's wrong? What's wrong today? I won the battle in the seven southern territory and am about to become the only demon king in the seven southern territory. Why does my heart feel like it's going to explode now? What is touching its head? The Jiao was so scared that it trembled all over. The golden glow on its body dimmed. Why? Who touched me? It did not dare to look up. Without any warning, that furry paw appeared out of nowhere and touched it. It was so scared that it almost suffocated. The Jiao seemed to be scared to death. Fong Ping also felt that something was wrong. He turned his head and looked, his face blank. What was that cat doing? The old cat touched the Jiao's huge head and lifted its ears to take a look. Then it lightly tapped its golden horn. It looked like it wanted to pry open its mouth and look at its teeth. What was the cat doing? Most importantly, the Jiao was about to pee in its pants. It should have at least greeted it. The old cat petted the Jiao for a while, then looked at Fong Ping. It stared at him for a while. Then a skewer appeared in its hand. It looked at the gopher not far away and said with some disdain, This big rat needs to be washed before you can roast it. Help me wash it." Before Fong Ping could say anything, the old cat suddenly looked disgusted. It mumbled, "Forget it. I'm not eating it anymore. It's pooping." A rank 9 demon beast would have long passed this stage. But at this moment, the gopher not far away really pooped. Scared, Yu Haishan's fright wasn't enough. When he felt someone's gaze on him, he glanced over from the corner of his eyes. This time, he really peed his pants. A cat that seemed to want to eat it. That was not the point. The point was that the gopher sensed a danger that was many times more dangerous than Yu Haishan. At least Yu Haishan was not targeting it, but there was a cat watching it. Fong Ping took a deep breath. He did not expect the old cat to appear at this time. Seeing the cat's head, Fong Ping swallowed and said softly, "Senior Cat." The old cat looked at him and suddenly said with a serious face, "You're going to die?" Fong Ping's expression darkened, but he did not dare to. He was not familiar with this cat. The old cat's serious face disappeared in the blink of an eye. It muttered indifferently, "I'm not telling you." Fong Ping's expression darkened again. "Did you say you were playing with it?" Forget it. I'll tell you, your mentality is so messed up. You self-destructed too much, and it's going to disperse. Once it does, you'll die. Fong Ping's eyes moved, and his expression became serious. Was it for real? Fong Ping was all smiles and said softly, Senior, I won't call you Senior. Master Cat. Fong Ping continued to smile. Seeing that the cat did not seem to care about how to address him, he immediately tried to get closer. Brother Cat. The cat glanced at him and rested its big head on the Jiao's back, as if it did not want to talk to him. Its gaze was cast in the direction of Imperial Sea Mountain. Its mouth opened and closed as it continued to eat. It said vaguely, There are so many people. The true gods are fighting again. Fong Ping was itching to ask about mentality, but seeing that the cat did not seem too interested, he could only say, Brother Cat, can you see the battle? Sure. Then we humans are now. Human Emperor. No, the fake human emperor is bad. He's pretending to be weak. The cat opened and closed its mouth, crunching crisply. The Jiao might have fainted from the shock, but it did not move at all, acting as the table for the cat. The cat took a bite of a meat skewer from an unknown beast and continued, Do you want to go? Give me 10 bags of cat food, and I'll throw you in. Fong Ping's expression stiffened. Stop joking. Me? Do I have a death wish? More than 10 paragons fought until the heavens and the earth changed color. A true king fell. I'll probably be killed if I go there. Am I crazy? And this cat, why does it want cat food? Don't tell me it's a rank 9 beast. Fong Ping glanced at it from the corner of his eye. Its big head was furry, and he wanted to touch it. Forget it, he did not dare to. This cat was a paragon that had lived for who knew how many thousands of years. It was not worth it to be beaten to death by the cat just because he touched it. The cat saw that he did not utter a word and ignored him. It looked at Zhang Weiyu and the rest in the distance, and then at Qi Huanyu. After looking at it, the cat grew bored and said, That fake human emperor seems to want them to become true gods. Fong Ping's gaze flickered. Yes, but they seem a little lacking now. As for the fake human emperor, Fong Ping remembered it in his heart and did not dare to ask. It was talking about old Zhang, right? What the hell? Old Zhang was a human emperor? Was this cat still living in ancient times? Give me 20 bags of cat food. I'll throw them in, maybe they can become true gods. Throw them in the true god battlefield. Yes, the cat said it matter-of-factly. They could be thrown in. If a true god had fallen, they could absorb it. Maybe they would succeed. Of course, the probability of death was higher. Even if they were close to true god, there was a 99% chance that they would be turned into pieces. Fong Ping continued to be silent, not daring to make a sound. There was no one here who could suppress this cat. He could not simply answer. If he really threw the vice-chancellor and the rest in, Fong Ping suspected that they would come back in pieces. More people are coming. The cat was idle anyway. He looked at Fong Ping and said, Do you have any ambrosia? It's dry and a little greasy. Fong Ping was a little dazed. Were you watching a show? However, this cat could see the situation on the battlefield, but he could not. At this moment, he was still hoping for it to say more. After thinking for a while, a small bottle of life essence appeared in his hand. This was also a little left from last time. The cat glanced at it. Cat Paw took it and drank it. After taking a big gulp, he continued, A lot of true gods are coming. That swordsman was beaten up. Yes, he was beaten up very badly. Meow, so bloody. It's not a good fight, and they're going to kill someone again. As the cat spoke, an earth-shattering roar resounded once more. Purple Radish King. Damn it, Zhang Tao, damn you. Heaven and earth changed color again. In the void, among the countless giant projections, another one was obliterated. A female true king. Purple Radish King had fallen. In a short time, the second true king had died in battle. At this moment, the entire 7 southern regions had turned blood red. Fong Ping frowned. Strange phenomenon. How could the fall of a true king have such a big impact? The cat was also a little uncomfortable. It scratched its head and mumbled, blocked the sun. So annoying. She was beaten to death. She made way for others to walk. Heaven and earth told you that you can walk this path now. As the cat spoke, it raised its big head and looked at the sky, mumbling, "That guy is so disgusting. He made it so red that it doesn't look good." That guy. Fong Ping's eyes moved. He asked hurriedly, "Who?" "It's that guy. Forget it. You don't know him." "I forgot his name too. Let's not care about him." The cat was short-lived. In the blink of an eye, it stopped talking about this and continued to watch the show. Once he woke up, there would be a good show to watch. It was not bad. If he had known earlier, he would not have slept and gone to watch the show. It was a pity that he had missed a few more interesting shows than this. Meow. Not good. 2 titled true gods are here. Another one. Why are there so many? The cat's big eyes were wide open. Where did so many titled true gods come from? Did Gong Juanzi not say that there were not many titled true gods now? But now, there were a few. It was over. It was over. The pseudo-human emperor was going to be beaten to death. There was no more cat food. You're tuning in to the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.